Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, November 7th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $, ORION-NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Thursday night football, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. Joe Burrow versus Lamar Action Jackson. Kickoff is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. So let's get locked and loaded and get ready for a magnificent matchup between these two AFC North kingpins. Let's go, baby. And on the thumb, on the left, it is the Tiger King, Joey B, Joe Burrow. And on the right, you know what it is, the NFL MVP up to this point, Lamar Action Jackson. Let's go. This should be a hell of a contest. Now, I don't really know what kind of defense that we're going to get out of both teams, but it should be a high-scoring affair. And if you love offense, this is going to be the game for you. No T. Higgins tonight, so that'll be a little bit more of Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow will have to kind of manage his weapons accordingly. And with Lamar, they're not going to have Isaiah Likely, so that means an uptick on not only maybe targets, but playing time and snaps for a guy like Mark Andrews. They got Zay, and they got plenty of running game, obviously, with King Henry. Let's go, baby. I am ready. Sarah in the building, what's good? Let's get to 100 and donos. Let's do it. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's get it, baby. And again, we got a pretty good matchup in fantasy, obviously lined up this week in the league. I'm trying to go for blood. And again, Zini is in third place. She's 6-3. I'm 3-6, but I'm going to try to go undefeated the rest of the way. And if I do, I might be able to get that last spot and get fourth place. But she's got Burrow, she's got Chase, and she's going with Chase Brown. And I got Mark Andrews, obviously, on my fantasy team here tonight. So I'm hoping for big numbers, and hopefully that it'll end up being very competitive as we get into the weekend. Daniel in the building, what's good? Let's go, baby. Well, I'm glad that you're, liking the job. I know in the last couple of years, you've had a couple that you've liked and a couple that you didn't really like. And, it is a little, difficult to be able to find something that gives you that balance where you get enough money, you get benefits, and then you like the people that you work with. And most of the time, you only get one out of those three, or maybe two. So I'm happy to hear that things are going well for you at this job currently. Let's go, baby. Hybrid in the building. What's good? And this one should be good. Again, this is two AFC North kingpins. You got the MVP in Lamar at this point. You got the number one quarterback. You got the number one running back. Again, lots of things are on the up and up, for the Baltimore Ravens. And I think a lot of people, if they're not familiar with Baltimore, if they haven't watched him, Zay is like a top 10 receiver in the NFL. He might not get the recognition, but again, he puts up numbers just as good as almost anybody in the league. And obviously having a quarterback like Lamar will definitely help that. 20 touchdowns and only 2 picks for Lamar. But Joe Burrow is having an equally great season as well. Now, if I would have known that they would have been going off like this, then maybe I would have taken a peek at Joe Burrow, which I probably should have in the draft, and I would have probably been a little bit better record-wise if I did, and have not, have to be a scattered brain fool and looking on the wire and trying to play matchups week in and week out. But Joey B, the Tiger King, 20 touchdowns, 4 picks. So they're both having MVP type of years. But again, defenses, run defense for Baltimore is pretty good, but their pass defense is almost dead last. And the Cincinnati Bengals, they don't really got a defense either. Ever since they lost Jesse Bates III to Atlanta, they really haven't been the same team. So I don't really feel there's going to be a whole lot of defense here today. Should be a lot of points scored. It should be one of the more entertaining matchups of Thursday night for the entire year. And I can honestly say with a straight face, I love watching both of these teams, let alone when they go against each other. AFC North rivals, they don't like each other, but it's not the same kind of vibe between like Baltimore and Pittsburgh. But The rivalry is still strong between the Ravens and the Bengals, and I know the Ravens have won quite a few. Joe Burrow doesn't have a very good record against Baltimore. Lamar is king at this point, but will he be king at the end of the night? We'll have to wait and find out. But if I had to put, a guess on who is going to win tonight's game, I would feel pretty comfortable feeling that it would be Baltimore. You got the number one running back, you got a top 10 receiver, you got the potential MVP at quarterback. Lots of things to be able to look forward to. Now, no Isaiah Likely, but again, Mark Andrews, was like kind of in the backup role to start off the year, and then within the last month or so has been getting targeted more, which is great. And again, hopefully that he'll end up hitting the end zone here either today or tomorrow. And as we see Kirk Herbstreit as well as Al Michaels, I want to take a second to be able to acknowledge Ben Herbstreit. Rest in peace. His dog that he would end up traveling with him in the last year, maybe should have, took the dog, Ben, along with him years before. But sometimes, when you're busy and you have so many things and you got to travel across the country, it may not necessarily be ideal, but I can relate. Paisley's my best friend. I know Ben was Kirk's best friend, and at least that Ben and Kirk got to be able to go around the country in the last 2 years. And again, with golden retrievers, it's really sad because they are some of the cutest, dogs and most loyal puppies and dogs overall, but they do have a string of cancer in their bloodline, which is terrible. And that is what happened to Ben Herbstreit. So rest in peace. I definitely shed a tear earlier today, and I'm hoping that, Kirk can end up getting another dog to be able to fill that void. There will only be one Ben Herbstreit, and if you ended up watching college football or the NFL this year, you're very familiar with Ben from last year as well as this year in the college football ranks or the NFL. And again, it's not easy when you end up losing. To some people, it's a pet, but for a lot of us, it's more than that. It's, family, and definitely a rough day. And shout out to Kirk, for doing, Thursday night football. This is his job, I know, but I know on the back of his mind, Ben is still there and he's in spirit. And hopefully this will be a good, entertaining matchup that even Ben can appreciate from Doggy Heaven. Jacob in the building. What's good? I did see that. Yeah, I don't really care for the NBA, but again, great start for the Cavs, obviously with Donovan Mitchell, and to be able to go 9-0. Don't know if they'll ever get ratings back, but there's a number of reasons why a lot of people don't watch the NBA, but I'm glad that you are at least one person that can enjoy it. I wish I could say the same, but again, the only bright spot for me tonight is Shaedon Sharpe is back in the lineup for the Blazers, one of my favorite players on the team. And then they're going to be going against the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. So I definitely will probably turn that on at some point just to kind of see what's going on. But again, congratulations with the Cavs with the record. And maybe this will be a year that they overachieve and they go a little bit further in the Eastern Conference. Let's go, baby. Yeah, well, you can say Cowboys or just the Titans for letting him go. Again, it's like, certain individuals, they may say, well, when a running back hits 30, usually they hit the wall a little bit and they regress. But if you're going to be going from a shitty team like the Titans, and then you're going to end up going to a good team like the Ravens, same thing, going from the Titans to the Eagles like A.J. Brown, you get on a better team with better quarterbacks, better offensive line, better coaching for the most part, even though I feel Sirianni might end up getting the axe in the next couple of years if he doesn't get things up to par, in the Philly standard. He's a little bit too reckless for my liking, Sirianni, but again, what they got going here in Baltimore, they're cooking, with Harbaugh. And I know that some of them wanted to let Harbaugh go and possibly give McDonald a shot to coach the team. He ended up getting the head coaching job for Seattle. So I think everything kind of worked out. McDonald got his, chance to be able to shine, and Harbaugh is still there. And again, I feel happy for Lamar that they finally actually have a true number one receiver and a true number one running back. And if you really think about it, in Lamar's time in Baltimore, he hasn't really had it. And then now he finally does, and you're seeing the benefit, a team that's one of the best in the NFL. And honestly, if you're looking at all the teams in the AFC, this might be the only team hybrid that can beat the Chiefs. Now I know the defense on the passing defense is not good for Baltimore. And again, that's why they ended up getting Tre'Davious White, the former Bill, to try to patch things up. But if you can outscore the other team, that's really all you need to do, right? And again, it's going to be a little bit tougher if it ends up being like Ravens Chiefs in the playoffs. But again, if you can get home field advantage, there's no guarantee that you win, because we know the Chiefs can win on the road. But maybe this is the year that we see the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be mad at it one bit. I wouldn't be mad if we ended up seeing the Chiefs again. But sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a change. And if we ended up getting Chiefs Lions, or maybe the one of the best case scenarios, maybe Ravens Lions, I think that would be amazing, because you would get two teams that are popular. They have amazing players. And I think that the fans would be a little divided, because, again, if it ended up being Ravens Lions, everyone loves the Detroit Lions. They are kind of like the lovable losers, but they got the right coach now, the right quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, defense. Even though they ended up losing Hutch for the year, but they brought in Za'Darius from the Packers. So, I feel like, and obviously we know Za'Darius moved around from the Packers, Browns, few teams that he played for, but maybe this is the year, and again, it's not like the Chiefs have been blowing anybody out. They seem very beatable. And again, with a guy like King Henry, with Zay, Andrews, likely Lamar playing the way he does, we need to be able to change the narrative, right? That Lamar is only good in the regular season. The Ravens are only good in the regular season, and they can't do it in the playoffs. And again, they haven't really had a running back to take the pressure off Lamar, like they do now with King Henry. And not only do they have a good running back, top 5, top 10, he's arguably, no, you can't even argue, he is the number 1 running back. So this might be the year. Again, the defense has got to get better from the Ravens, but I'm definitely excited for the opportunity for the Ravens to possibly make the AFC Championship game. And then if they can get lucky enough, maybe they can end up going to a Super Bowl with Lamar. I know Ravens fans like Hybrid and a few others would love that. Let's go. Let's go, baby. And we got these spinning logos for whoever has the ball. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Try to get us to 20 within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. First down and 10. And no T. Higgins tonight, so there are going to be a lot of coverage on Jamar Chase. Little check down. Chase Brown. Yeah, but Mark Ingram's not Derrick Henry. Let's be honest about that. Mark Ingram, even when he was on the Saints, he had a couple good years, for Baltimore and Nolans, but he's not a game changer like Derrick Henry is. Derrick Henry's a guy that can run for 100 to 250 yards in any game. Derrick Henry's a guy that can score 1, 2, 3 times in a game. Not so much with Mark Ingram, and I think you can agree to that. So, this is the first time that you've actually legit had a top 5 running back, and he's the best right now in the NFL. That's a big game changer. Little check down to Jamar Chase. First down, Bengals. You got to understand, I've been watching football since 1985, so I've been able to evaluate plenty of players, and they've never had a running back, even though he is aging and he's getting a little bit older, but you can't really tell based on the game footage that we've watched in 2024. So it's an amazing thing, and you guys deserve it. Yeah, best running back in the game. Right now, I wouldn't want anybody else but him carrying the rock. If I had a choice to have one on my team, it would definitely be King Henry. Now, we don't know if he'll be able to be the same player this year, next year, or the following, but at least for this year, he's been money. Good tackle there. Gang tackle by the Ravens, and I'm loving the all-purple and with the helmet, the matted helmet with the logo, and those jerseys and the pants and the gloves and the socks and the cleats. It is a fire look. It definitely gives me Huskies vibes from Washington. But I love the purple and the gold that the Ravens are rocking here tonight. Very cool. Second down and 9. Shotgun set for Burrow. They're going 5 wide, empty backfield, shotgun set. Tipped and complete. Third down and 9. Man in motion, shotgun set. Burrow, scrambling, gambling, pump faking. Oh, first down, Bengals. Jamar Chase with good hands and good recognition. Move the trains. Let's go, baby. And Burrow's been money this year, just like Lamar. 20 touchdowns and 4 picks for Burrow. 20 touchdowns and 2 interceptions for Lamar. Fantastic. Both tied for second in the league with 20. Good gang tackle there. And I'm going to need the Ravens to play some defense. I'm going in fantasy against Burrow, Chase, and Chase Brown. So I'm going to need this Raven defense to play out of their minds here today at home, I hope. Shotgun set. Burrow hands off. Chase Brown up the gut for a couple. Third down and 4. Third down and 4. Shotgun set. Burrow, pressure off the edge. He's open. First down, Bengals. They're already knocking on the door. The Princeton wide receiver with the grab. He's kind of like a poor man's Puka Nacua. You know, he definitely has some skill set. He's not going to be as talented as a Puka Nacua, but the body frame and size kind of similar. First and goal. Shotgun set on first down and goal. Burrow. Good tackle there by the Ravens. Yeah, well, it's going to be easy to get off to a hot start against the Ravens, secondary, because they're like the worst secondary in football, worst pass defense in football. So, again, regardless if it's Burrow or anyone else, anyone has been able to throw on Baltimore this year. Now, running the ball, they're pretty good there. But on pass defense, they're one of the worst. So hopefully they'll get that firmed up. They're going to need that, especially if they want to be able to get to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game. Now they're going to go for the challenge. Probably incomplete pass. They're on the sideline. I would assume that's what they're doing. Knee is down, but then it goes flying in the air. That might be incomplete. And then for tomorrow, Iowa and UCLA are playing at 6. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to do that. I would rather do that than hockey or basketball. Again, if I'm going to take a lot of time and effort and energy, I have to make it worth it, my time. And, I just feel with basketball and the NHL, it's just, it's not really going to be worth the time. Maybe it will be, after we go into 2025. But I'm thinking we're going to end up doing that tomorrow. That looks like that's the best matchup tomorrow. You got Cal and Wake Forest. You got Iowa and UCLA, Rice and Memphis, and then New Mexico and San Diego State. So it looks like we'll probably end up doing back-to-back college football games. And then obviously we're going to end up doing Oregon on Saturday. And we play Maryland at 4. So I'm thinking that's what we're going to end up doing. I mean, like I said, we're not the same team that we were in the first 2 weeks of the season. I think Dan Lanning is the coach of the year. I feel that we're going to go undefeated in the regular season, but, what does that mean? I mean, it means something, I guess, for pride, that we're taking over the Big Ten and none of the teams are going to like us and everyone's going to end up hating us because we're going to be as good as we are this year, almost every year with Dan Lanning, as far as recruiting and whatnot. And then once we go to the college football playoff, hopefully we can make it, to the Natty. It's going to be, tough, but I think that there is a chance. And if we make it to the Natty, I hope we play, Georgia or Ohio State. I want to play the best of the best. And then if we can end up doing that, or playing Ohio State, Big Ten championship, play Ohio State in the college football playoff, and then play Georgia for the Natty, that's what I would want. I want to play the best of the best, no excuses. And hopefully we can end up, bringing the Natty home to Oregon. But I feel very good. I feel like it's pretty even in the college football scene this year. Shotgun set. Burrow. Floater, back of the end zone, incomplete. Yeah, it seems like they are always having, UCLA or Washington. Now Iowa's in the mix on a Friday night game. Maybe not really the most ideal time to have a game, but at least it gives us something to watch that I can actually enjoy going into tomorrow. And obviously we'll do that. Iowa, UCLA, Oregon, Maryland Saturday. And then I'll take a look to see what we got on Sunday Night Football. Sunday night will be Lions and Texans, so that'll be dope. So we're going to have a good weekend. Second time out there by Baltimore. But I also realize, once we make it to the college football playoff, anybody can beat anyone. It's only one game. It's not best of 5 or best of 7 like the MLB, the NBA, or the NHL. So if you end up having a bad half or even a bad quarter, you might lose, and that's the end of your season. So I realize that, but I think that we do have one of the best coaches, if not the best coach this year. Harbaugh's gone, right? Saban is gone. We own Ryan Day. As of right now, we own the Big Ten, and I'm hoping that we can end up representing for the Big Ten, just like Michigan did last year, and we can end up getting a natty ourselves. Third down and goal. Shotgun set. Burrow, pressure coming, collapsing, floater, incomplete. Good decision by Joey B, the Tiger King. Doesn't want to throw a silly interception in the back of the end zone. Good defense there by the Ravens. Fourth and goal. Field goal unit coming out. Cool kid in the building. What's good? Oh, wow. They're not going for the field goal. They're going for everything here. Wow. No respect for that Ravens secondary. And let's see what happens here. Fourth and goal. Shotgun set. Burrow. Chased. Floater. Incomplete, but there's a flag on the play. Defensive holding. And looks like the Bengals will end up getting a touchdown here, more than likely. Yeah, defensive holding there. That's rough. But But again, if you know that you're going against like the worst secondary in football, even though their run defense is pretty good, I guess that you can, take chances. And there you go. Touchdown, Bengals. And I'm going against Chase Brown, so not ideal, but, it is what it is. Especially when you get a running back, that is pretty good. It's not Joe Mixon, but again, anytime you get a 1st and goal, it's almost going to be a touchdown almost every time. And that was easy breezy. Easy peasy cover girl there. Touchdown, Bengals. Odin in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help your boy out. Hopefully we can get a few more people to come through. I didn't realize people don't give a shit about Bengals and Ravens. I sure do. I don't really know where the hell everyone else is, but hopefully we'll get a few more people to come through, show some love, and hang out and actually watch two good football teams go at it. And again, we'll see what happens here. Extra point is up and good. 7-0 Bengals. Heck yeah. I'll be watching for you. We're going to be doing Iowa and UCLA tomorrow, and then we're going to do Oregon and Maryland on Saturday, but I'll watch your Notre Dame game. Extra point up and good. 7-0 Cincinnati. And then obviously we got a good one with the Lions and the Texans on Sunday Night Football. So, yeah, and especially when he got a chance to be able to break out, even though they drafted Brooks, and eventually, you're going to be able to see a little bit of him. But he's definitely earned that money. When things were very, very bleak, whether it was with Dalton or with Bryce Young, and really the one thing that was kind of the constant, was Chuba Hubbard, and he definitely overachieved and played much better than anyone anticipated. And I think that it was a well-deserved contract extension for Chuba. 7-0 Bengals. All right, Ravens. I need some electricity. Okay, I know you're going to go to Henry, and I know you're going to go to Flowers, but I need me a Mark Andrews tutty. All right, I need Mark Andrews tutties. I need Mark Andrews catches, baby. Now, this will be a good game. Again, defenses aren't very good on both teams, but offenses are pretty spectacular. No T. Higgins for the Bengals, but they have plenty of other guys that can step up. The Ravens don't have Isaiah Likely, but that just means potentially more opportunities for Mark Andrews, and my fantasy team likes that. One more like to 10, 11 more to get to 20. Let's get there, baby. Now we're at 10. Thank you so much. 10 more to get to 20. Let's get there, baby. Cole in the building. What's good? Good start for the Bengals. 7-0 Cincinnati. How have things been you for Odin? Things been pretty good for you? How are things been? Yeah, it's a trap game for you guys, just like the Buccaneer game was, because again, like Bo Nix is a little bit better than people think. Like, we already know their offensive line isn't the greatest, and they have a very young, core, at running back, wide receiver, tight end. But again, Bo is kind of one of those tricky players where, we thought that him and Jaden Daniels were the most NFL ready, and they were. And, he's the kind of guy that can catch touchdown passes. He can run, he can throw, he can do a little bit of everything. So again, not going to be necessarily, I think, an easy game. I think it'll be a little bit closer than people think. You would assume that the Chiefs will win, but the Denver Broncos will, probably make it a little bit interesting, at least for a couple quarters before maybe Kansas City pulls away. But it definitely is a trap game for, KC. But, there's going to be quite a few of those, going into the season, and it hasn't bothered them just yet. And obviously the addition of DeAndre Hopkins has been huge. That's something that they needed with Rice being out. Lamar going long, going deep, got a man, and complete. Wow, 1-on-3. He said, I give no fucks. Lamar's got 20 touchdowns and 2 picks and almost got his third. Got to be a little bit more careful there. Rashad Bateman, the intended receiver. Awesome. Good luck with the new job. I know it might not be the most ideal thing for you, but it's going to pay the bills. Keep your head up, and maybe there'll be something better that comes along, going into 2025. But again, a job is a job, and I'll be rooting for you. Second down and 10. Man in motion. Lamar. Hands off. King Henry. Decent game there, about 5 or 6. Yeah, they're definitely not blowing anybody out, but again, at the end of the day, a win is a win, and I would like to see the defense get a few more sack lunches and interceptions. Seems like the defense isn't as dominant as it was last year, but again, if they can just find a way to get that nice balance, we know once the Chiefs go into the postseason, they turn into another animal, and they have to be the favored team to be able to make the Super Bowl for the AFC again. And really, there's not very many teams that I think that could go toe-to-toe with them. Like, I feel like at times, the Raven offense and the Ravens might be the team that could, give them a challenge. Buffalo's got, Josh Allen, but their defense isn't very good. So I feel like a lot of the AFC teams, it's like they either got really good defense or really good offense, but not both. It's like Steelers got a good defense, but not really the offense, kind of inconsistent. And you kind of can go down all of the teams, the Bills and the offense, Josh Allen, but you can't really rely on that defense to stop anybody. And speaking of stops, the Bengals stopped the Ravens, which is a little surprising. 4th down and 4. Ravens with the punt. Go to fucking Mark Andrews, damn it. But you never know. We might end up seeing a Chiefs-Lions Super Bowl. If the Chiefs end up losing in the AFC Championship game, to like a team like the Ravens, this would be probably their best shot. Even though the secondary isn't good for Baltimore, hopefully it'll get a little bit better with Tre'Davious White. But you got potentially the MVP in Lamar, number 1 running back in King Henry, a top 10, top 15 receiver in Zay Flowers, a top 12 tight end in Mark Andrews, and if they get him the ball a little bit more, he could end up being maybe a top 7. But it really just depends on the scheme and what they decide to do game in and game out. Burrow blasted from behind, incomplete. Good defense there on the pass rush for Baltimore. Yeah. But again, you guys got, D-Hop, so we're good. And plus, the Commanders are going to need a little bit more, especially if they want to hold off the Eagles for first place. And I would love to be able to see the Commandos, make a run. They're kind of like the lovable loser like the Lions. And that's like, I hate seeing teams that just suck forever. Tampa was in that boat for a while. And again, it's like I like seeing teams finally get good, even if it's been many, many, many years. It's nice to be able to see a change in the power, in the NFL. Burrow, little bootleg. Should have been picked right there. Incomplete. Batted down by the Ravens. 3rd down and 10. I like the Commanders. I like what they've been able to put out there. I think Jaden Daniels is Lamar of the NFC. They've been getting some pretty good production, from the running backs and the wide receivers. Yeah, even the defense. It's not like a finished product, but for a team that we normally would just not even give 2 shits about, it's pretty cool to see a team like the Commandos having a little bit of a run. I mean, I would rather see the Commandos, at the top rather than Dallas. Because we already know with the Cowboys, they'd be good in the regular season and get stomped in the postseason. The Commandos are actually good enough this year to win a playoff game. And they're good enough to win the NFC East over Philly. But we'll have to kind of wait to see how, the rest of the schedule goes and if Jaden Daniels can stay healthy for the rest of the year. But again, it should be pretty neck and neck between the Eagles and the Commandos for the NFC East crown. So pretty cool. Third down and 10 on the Cincinnati 10. Good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. That's just how it goes. Shotgun set. Burrow. Good protection up front. Incomplete. And there comes the flag. Yeah, how are you going to have Wiggins, a rookie, on Jamar Chase? Golly. And you know where they're going to be able to focus, in the draft and free agency. It's going to be that secondary and defense. Chase Brown, wrap him up. There we go. Decent game there for Chase Brown. No worries. Hopefully we'll get some people to show some love. Second down and 3. Burrow under center, man in motion. Play action fake. First down, Bengals. Chase Brown. Move the chains. Yeah, Zini's got Burrow, Chase, Flowers, and Brown all playing today. Well, she obviously wanted to triple up, with Chase and with Burrow. So, I taught her well, back when we first started, doing like the whole Detroit Lion thing that I did, last year with Montgomery, Amon-Ra, and Laporta. But it really only works if the team is good. If you end up getting 3 players on a team and they don't have a good year, or, they're not playing good ball together, then that could be really detrimental to your fantasy team. But if they're rolling for the most part, it could be a huge advantage, game in and game out, and some games are not going to be good where out of the 3 guys, you might only, end up getting like 30 points. But there's going to be weeks where you end up getting maybe like 70 or 80 or 90 out of the 3 players. And that's when you know that you have an advantage. So. Shotgun set. Burrow. This Ravens defense is terrible. And again, if they're gonna beat the Chiefs, they got to be much better. Because again, if they play like this, in the playoffs, regardless on how good Lamar is or Henry or Zay, it's not going to be enough. They got to be better, and hopefully they'll get some better players, in the next couple years. But they're getting closer. To getting to where they need to be, but that defense, golly, not good. Second down and 11. Shotgun set. Burrow. Burrow is just dinking and doinking, and if the Ravens are going to be like that and not try to give up the big play over the top, Burrow is just going to eliminate you. He's just going to, 5-yard pass here, 8-yard pass here. If you want to play defense like that, okay, I'll rip you up. And it's not like Burrow is going to be under center that often. He can kind of run a college shotgun spread offense. And Lamar on the sideline, all he can do is look. I think I have a chance against her this week, though. I really do. Especially when I have McCaffrey and Kupp for the first time this season. I think I can go on a little bit of a run. Nice catch by Jamar Chase. It's almost like watching like a varsity team go against like a freshman team here. Megan in the building. What's good? First down and 10. Shotgun set for Burrow. Hands off to Chase Brown. Judah in the building. What's good? Second down and 3. Shotgun set for Burrow. Play action to Brown. Burrow. Sideline and complete. Makes you kind of wonder, too, like how often the Bengals are going to punt because, you know, if the Ravens can't stop anybody and they can't stop a nosebleed, you know, they're going to probably go for it on fourth down more than a normal team would. Not every time, but. Nice. Yeah, all my friends that have a nice, I'll take a look at that as well. Burrow and complete. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for it to finish, you know, in that last episode, and then I'll probably, you know, if I have some extra money, I'll try to do the Showtime Paramount Plus, you know, add-on Hulu, and then I'll end up watching the whole series probably in a night. Outer Banks, the second part of that series came out on Netflix this morning as well. So, you know, I'm almost done with that. I think I'm on the last episode of that. So anything new that's out, I'm definitely interested in. Bengals don't give no fucks. They're like, Ravens defense is garbage. We're going to go for it on fourth down every time. Burrow going deep and complete. Wouldn't have done that. And that is a turnover to the Ravens. Yeah, the crazy thing is that, you know, like the main character is Colin Farrell. It doesn't even look like him. You know, like if you go back and look at, you know, some of the old movies that he's done back in the day, you know, obviously he had to gain a little bit of weight, you know, to get into that role. But if you were to tell people, hey, that's Colin Farrell, you have to like do like a double take, a triple take, and like look really close. But what a fantastic job. And I can't wait to be able to dive into it. And I know I'm going to like it. Anything that's, you know, Batman related, I'm going to be all over that. So. Oh, very cool. And this was from last night, Odin? Let me see if I can zoom in here. Let's take a quick peek. Oh, cool. Who else did you get a chance to see besides them? Who headlined for them? Very cool. Last night. Ravens D, ooh, that's tough. I mean, their run defense is decent, but their pass defense is like last in the NFL. So we'll see on how that works out here tonight. Obviously, we feel like maybe the Ravens are overall the better team, and they're at home. But you know, again, if they can't stop the pass, they could end up losing this game. So we'll have to wait and see how that all shakes out. Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome, man. Oh, wow. 5-0. It happens sometimes, though. You know how sports is, Judah. You know, expect the unexpected. You know, sometimes with analytics and statistics, you know, we can kind of have an idea of how things are going to go down, but sometimes, the complete opposite happens. So like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour or hour and a half. We're 8 away, and then hopefully we can get somewhere between 25 and 30 before the stream ends if we can get a little uptick in viewership. And obviously we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. I'll start there by the Ravens. Really like the helmets and the jerseys and the pants, the all-purple look. Very fire for Baltimore. First down and 15. Man in motion. Hand off to King Henry right up the gut. Short gain. Get the ball to Mark Andrews, baby. $7-0 Bengals. Shotgun set, second down and 11. Lamar, floater. Let's go. Hell yeah. First down, Ravens. I need some fantasy points. I need 10 to 20 out of Andrews here today, especially if I'm going to be going against Burrow, Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, and Zay Flowers. I need to be able to get some good stats out of Mark Andrews here tonight. No Isaiah Likely, so more snaps and more attempts for Andrews, and hopefully he'll be able to get into the end zone here tonight. Let's go. Nice job, Lamar. Nice job, Andrews. Let's go, baby. Screen pass, incomplete. I mean, especially when I chose, Andrews, over Jonnu Smith. So it's like I feel both can get 10, but it's like who might be able to get a little bit more. And obviously with Smith on Miami, he's been getting, 6-7 targets a game, and Andrews is normally only getting about 4 or 5. And then if he doesn't get 4 or 5, it's like 1 to 3, and then it's like 5 points. So if he can get like 5-6 targets, I should be able to clear 10 points out of Andrews, I'm hoping. But if he gets a touchdown, I might be able to get to 15. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for. Lamar, go, baby, go. Use those legs. Nice. First down, Ravens. And I love being able to see Lamar dance and prance. Him and Jaden Daniels, they have such quick feet. And again, it's just when you feel that Lamar is going to throw it away or go out of bounds or slide, he says, no, let me dance around over here. And he's just faster than every other player in the NFL. So no one can really, keep up with him. And then on top of that speed, he's got that agility and that quickness to bounce back and forth left and right to juke defenders. What a joy to be able to watch a guy like Lamar. Flag on the play, probably a holding on the Ravens O-line. And now we got one on the Commandos in the NFC and Jaden Daniels. So very cool. Too many men on the field on defense. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Ravens. Let's punch this in for a touchdown. Let's go. I mean, if the sports gods really want to, not do me dirty and treat me good, then maybe I could even get Andrews in 2 times tonight. That might be asking too much, but again, Zay will get some stats. Henry's going to get stats. Of course, Lamar's going to get stats, but with no Isaiah Likely, this could be a 1 or 2 touchdown game for Andrews if the looks are there. Lamar, there's Zay. God, he's fast too. He's almost like the, wide receiver equivalent to Lamar based off that speed. Very fast, very quick. And again, they've been waiting for that number 1 receiver for years. And they've been waiting for a number 1 running back for years. Better than like Mark Ingram. Better than any of the other, receivers they've had. Best one they had prior to that was maybe Hollywood Brown. And we already know that Zay is much better than Hollywood Brown. Chief in the building. What's good? I saw that. I saw that they had a little one-on-one with WWE as well as AEW, going with like an ECW throwback, of night. End of the first quarter, 7-0 Bengals. We got me and Zini going at it. We got Elliot and Matt going at it. We got Chief who's in the room going at Shep. My brothers from another mother. So that should be very interesting between the two of them. Then you got Captain and Sarah and Reflect and Megan. And I feel like a lot of the teams that were kind of towards the bottom, we're starting to kind of catch a little bit of fire. Megan's starting to put up points. Captain put up the most points last week, even though there was a battle, for those points with Zini and Megan last week. I'm starting to kind of catch a little bit of fire as well. So, even though you start a little slow, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And, we're definitely going to be, stealing a few games from people at the top. And if you look at the standings and look at the teams in the middle, there's going to be some wiggle room. There's going to be some room, for third and fourth place, and there's going to be probably like 6 teams battling for those last 2 spots, in the playoffs. So I can't wait to see how it all shakes out. But I wish I didn't get off to such a bad start in the year, considering most teams in our league have made 50 moves or less, and I'm already at like almost 150. So I'm hoping that I can find some kind of way to get to 4th place. But for me to do that, I need a lot of the other people to start losing, and then I need to go pretty much undefeated the rest of the way. So, which would be a very tough task. But if I have Cooper Kupp and I have Christian McCaffrey healthy and they put up numbers, there is a chance that I could do it. So we'll see. Seven more likes to be able to get to 20. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Thank you so much. Now we're at 14, 6 more to go to get to 20. Let's get there, baby. And we're still waiting on the dono train for the first one to start. And obviously we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. I mean, if you play the right lineup, you got a chance. I mean, I feel pretty confident going against Zini, and she's 6-3. It just depends on what your roster looks like. Kareem Hunt, McCaffrey, Devontae, Cooper Kupp, Andrews, Downs. I mean, I like my chances with my stars, And I obviously still got one of the best benches in the league. Connor, Goff, Pollard, Shakir, Smith, Broncos D, Mike Evans, and then the X factor for me will be Tillman on the Browns, and I'll end up playing him probably the rest of the way. And if he can start putting up 18 to 30 points, a week from wide receiver 2 or my flex, that could be a big advantage for me and a disadvantage for the people that are playing against me. Henry bouncing it to the outside. First down, Ravens, or close to. What's next week, Finley? I know we got, so we're going to be doing Iowa and UCLA tomorrow. Then we're going to do Oregon and Maryland on Saturday. And then we're going to do Texans and Lions on Sunday night. What's next Thursday's game? 2nd down and 3, halfback toss to Henry. Runs into a couple Bengals, short game. 3rd down. Yeah, the Puka thing was, anytime you end up getting a player that doesn't complete the game, you lose pretty much, 99% of the time. I mean, unless you have a couple guys throwing up, 20s, 30s, 40s, to compensate for that. But yeah, that was very unexpected and unfortunate. Like I said, I've had almost every week, I've had a guy get hurt or not complete the game. And hard to win when that happens. And hard to win when you don't have your 2 best players in fantasy not participating. Justice Hill with a little drop down. This would be a great opportunity for Mark Andrews here. Let's go. Yeah, the projection stuff doesn't mean anything. All it is intimidation when you look at it, when someone has a higher number than you. At the end of the day, depending on if it's green, neutral, or red, you know that you're going to get points regardless if you have the correct lineup, and it's just a matter of how many do you get. Lamar. Wide open. Touchdown, Ravens. And it isn't Mark Andrews. It isn't Derrick Henry. It isn't Zay Flowers. Nelson Aguilar. Lee, we need some fantasy points, damn it. Extra point is up and good. We're knotted up at 7. Yeah, I'm super excited for Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday of the year, hands down. The family, the food, the football, and we'll always be streaming Thursday or Thanksgiving night, obviously on Christmas night as well for that last game. What's the night game for Thanksgiving this year and the night game for Christmas for the people that have access to the internets and whatnot? Lamar's feeling good. Good game so far, knotted up at 7. If you're going to be able to match up with Shep, you got to get yourself a fucking kicker, my guy. Your kicker's on a bye. You need to get a kicker. Get you a kicker, and then we'll see what happens. But we'll find out what teams in the bottom and the middle start to catch a little fire. It's always great to start off strong, but you don't want to start strong and then get weaker as the year goes along. Because if that happens, you're not going to, make it to the championship game. Still might make the playoffs, but, might get eliminated, right out of the gate. So it'll be very interesting to see how it all plays out. 7-7 Bengals and Ravens. Yeah, so that's why, you can't take too much. You can have these projected numbers, but that's what they are, projections. And again, how many times have you ended up seeing a guy on your bench that was in a red matchup put up a 15 or 20? Sometimes you can't rely on the boom bust numbers, or the actual green, neutral, red. Now, obviously, if it's a red 1, then putting that guy on the bench and obviously benching that guy, that makes sense. But if it ends up being I don't know, maybe red 1, 2, 3, you have to be very cautious unless it's someone that it doesn't matter who they are, they're still going to be able to put up some good stats, but if it ends up being I don't know, red 5, red 6, red 7, you can still roll the punches sometimes with that kind of matchup and still get good points. But hell, I've seen red 1 still put up 15 or 20. It's just kind of based off game script. And if that individual ends up going above and beyond. So you never really know. And also we've seen, green 32s shit the bed. So, just because it's a green 32 and doesn't mean that particular player is going to go off. Now, most of the time it means it will, based off, past games and, that team can't, play defense on that level, but you never know. That's what makes fantasy kind of, challenging. You don't really know what you're going to get week in and week out. Khalil Herbert with a fumble on his first carry. Not a good start for him. And obviously they picked up Khalil Herbert because Zach Moss ended up having a neck issue and is going to be out for the year. So this will be their RB2. and not a good start for him coming from Chicago to Cincinnati. Come on, my guy. Second down and 11 on the Cincinnati 29. Shotgun set for Burrow. Uh-oh. How does he not get sacked there? My God. Are you kidding me? How is that possible? There's like 4 Ravens right there, and you can't grab Burrow and throw him to the ground? Unbelievable. Yeah, you just got to go with a hot hand. I mean, before you had no choice because guys were hurt, and then you were rolling with Cousins and those weapons on offense. But now you have to be a little bit more strategic, and if you got the bigger name guys and they're getting looks and targets and they're getting more points, then, there's no point of going with those lower name guys unless they're putting up more points than the big name guys. Shotgun set. Burrow. Little check down. Almost a first down there. Tanner Hudson with the catch. Yeah, Herbert's a decent running back. We've seen it when he paired up with David Montgomery, back in the day, when they were on the Bears there together. They had a nice 1-2 punch. So a little surprising for Khalil Herbert to fumble like that, but should give you similar numbers to like a Zach Moss in an RB2 role. He's not going to probably get a lot of looks. It'll eat into a little bit of Chase Brown's activity, but obviously fumbling on the first snap, he might not get the ball the rest of the game. They might just go with Chase Brown the rest of the way. It's not a good start when you fumble on your first attempt, but at least he didn't turn it over. Now, if he would have fumbled and turned it over, then we probably wouldn't see Herbert until next week. But since he fell on top of it, maybe he'll get a few more looks. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you. Thank you, man. We never, we don't want to hit any zeros and whatnot. So thank you. Appreciate you. And hopefully that'll lead to another and then another and a few other people coming through before the game ends. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. $10.90 to go. Let me know what you want to do for photos. Anything specific that you want to be able to see Chiefs-wise? Let me know, and I got you. All right, no worries, Odin. I'll check up on you, as we go through, obviously, college football this weekend and whatnot. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll reach out to you, tomorrow or this weekend. You're good there then. Spurs up by 1 on the Blazers. Great to see Shaden Sharp back out there. Five points. Nice ball. Okay. Wembanyama's got 6. False start on the Ravens. I got you, man. You might as well grab the one that's on your team, right? Now you got a better chance. Zay Flowers, good defense there by the Bengals, but again, being in the same position, we're kind of in the bottom, but again, floating around in the bottom, there's going to be some teams that, you might be able to pass, depending on what kind of effort is being put up, by some of the other individuals in the league, and I hope that we don't get too many people giving up and whatnot, but it is one of those kind of natural things that does happen, but we'll see what happens as the year goes along, and you never know. Again, you got the teams at the top, the top three, but everything below that, 4 through 9, roughly, those positions could move, dramatically here in the next couple of weeks and within the next month or so. So. Yeah, well, if you don't subscribe to Prime, you can always use a streaming link. So, third down and 15. Shotgun set. Lamar. Flowers. He's very shifty, but the Bengal defense has been a little bit better than advertised tonight against Baltimore being at home. Seems like Cincinnati kind of came to play today, and Baltimore, they're a little frustrated. Again, they know their secondary is like the worst in the NFL. It's not good. They can't stop a nosebleed. Run defense is average. And Lamar and that offense is great, but the Bengal defense is playing a little bit better than expected, slowing them down a little bit. And they're not being able to run or throw at will, and that definitely is frustrating Lamar and the Ravens. Good tackle there on special teams. It's nice to be able to have like players that that you expected to use, that you can actually use them. Like I've been waiting, since the very beginning of the draft to be able to. This will be the first time that I get to use Cooper Kupp and Christian McCaffrey together. And speaking of, he's on the screen here with the Uber Eats. That's a little ESP, but again, not being able to have guys that could give me 50, 60 points out of 2 players has resulted in my bad record. And I feel that if I had those guys from the very beginning, I probably would have a record like Zini. I probably would be like 6-3. So instead of 3-6, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. Made some mistakes. Guys got hurt, but hopefully I can win the next 5 weeks. And if I do, and I can get myself to 8-6, I should be able to get that last spot and get 4th place. But that's asking a hell of a lot, to start off the year 2-6, and then to win 6 straight, and then go 8-6 and make the playoffs. But I've never seen anybody make the playoffs from 2-6, but maybe I'll be one of the first on planet Earth to do so. We'll find out. Shotgun set for Burrow. Tipped. Incomplete. Yeah, those tip passes, if you got, players that have good awareness, it could definitely lead to an interception or a pick six, if they're in the right place at the right time. But sometimes those defensive linemen are just too slow, and they're not aware to be able to get over there in time. So, or they're locked up with the offensive linemen, so they can't break away. Shotgun set. Burrow. Scrambling. Gambling. just short of the marker. But I imagine they'll go for it. I mean, watch out for Roquan Smith. He's the one that did the hip drop tackle and injured Chris Godwin, so I better not see that against Jamar Chase here tonight. Not saying that Roquan Smith is a dirty player, but not a good look if you're a Roquan Smith fan. I mean, I used to love him until he did some shit like that. And it seems like that's not the first time that he's done a kind of a questionable tackle like that and injured someone. Direct snap. First down, Bengals. Great play call there by the Cincinnati Bengals. First down, Cincy. Great call. First down and 10. Burrow. Screen pass to Chase Brown. Wrap him up. There you go. Good tackle there by Baltimore. And I know we're going to get more scoring in the second half, but definitely a little bit lower scoring of an affair than I think that we expected. You know, it's like these defenses aren't really very good, so why do we only have a 7-7 score? Both defenses are playing a little bit better than I think anticipated as far as at least run defense is concerned. Second down and 15. Shotgun set. Burrow. Oh, what happened to my hands? Yeah, both defenses are playing very well tonight. I mean, at this point, I think we're kind of thinking the game would be minimum 14-14 or 17-14, something like that. I did not expect a 7-7, with these defenses that normally aren't very good, but they're, playing like they're the strong piece tonight. Third down and 15. Burrow. Good tackle by Baltimore there on the sideline to Burrow, the Tiger King. All right, Ravens, your turn. I need a Mark Andrews touchdown, baby. All right, Ravens, let's go, baby. Anything that you want to be able to see, Chief, in between the commercial breaks for your Chiefs? You let me know. I got you. You got a particular player? Yeah, possibly, right? Yeah, we got to get some more points. I'm going to throw up a couple of Chief photos for you. I'll hit you with a throwback, and I'll get you. I don't think they have too many options for D-Hop yet, but I'll get you the human joystick first. And then we'll see what they have available if they've taken some more pictures recently. But D-Hop definitely feels like the saving grace for that offense, you know. And it definitely will open up more things for Travis Kelce, having someone that can, you know, play like a Rashee Rice. So, and then Pacheco will be coming back pretty soon in about a month or so, it feels like. So, looks like they've added a couple. And I know he's thrilled, you know, to instead of playing on some dog shit team, that he actually can play on a team where he's got a chance to win a Super Bowl and make a playoff run. So good for him. Hopefully they'll add a few more that I can give you with just a little sample. Appreciate you. We're at 10, 90 to go. Yeah, Kareem Hunt. Yeah, it's huge, man. I mean, that could be the difference between you guys, you know, making the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl or not, you know, having guys like that. And then once you're not going to have Rice this year, but when Pacheco comes back, then you got Kareem Hunt, a nice 1-2 combo. You know, one of the better 1-2 combos in, you know, the NFL. And then now you got a guy that can either be a decoy in D-Hop, or he can be a guy that gets you 1 or 2 touchdowns in a game. And then that'll open up the door for Kelce and everyone else. So less pressure on Kelce now with D-Hop there. And now you have more of a complete team. So 2nd down and 9. Shotgun set. Lamar. Kohler. That needs to be Mark Andrews, baby. Yeah. But Juju's nowhere near being as good as D-Hop. I mean, every once in a while, like, you know, Mahomes can set you up, and all you got to do is catch it, as long as you're not, you know, fucking dropping the football like some of your guys last year. You know, like a Kadarius Toney, that was a killer. Sky Moore wasn't very good either, as well as a few others, but it seems like they've firmed up a lot of those drops. Lamar, going long, going deep, got a man. 2 Ravens down there and broken up. Come on, Lamar. For real, though. Especially, you know, with kicking Hunt off the team when he could have won, you know, some Super Bowls, you know, with the team. And then obviously, you know, being on Cleveland and, you know, doing that over there. But obviously being on the Browns is not the same as being on the fucking Chiefs. And then giving him a second chance, which it seems like the Chiefs do pretty often. They like bringing back players that have played there before that know the Andy Reid system. And again, if you didn't have Kareem Hunt, who knows where you guys would be at? You guys wouldn't be fucking undefeated. I'll tell you that right now. You guys would probably have 2 or 3 losses if you didn't grab Hunt. So, you know, especially when the games have been pretty close and Hunt's been scoring once or twice pretty much every game. So that's been really the saving grace for you guys. And I think every Chief fan knows that too, you know, because again, you didn't really leave anything on the table. Like as soon as Pacheco went down, normally that's like, oh, fuck, you know, we're probably not going to be able to make the Super Bowl, or even maybe we don't even make the AFC Championship game when you lose a big piece like that after already losing Rice. It's like you lose your number 1 receiver, then you lose your number 1 running back. Both guys are top 10 players, you know, at running back and wide receiver. Then you bring in a Kareem Hunt, and Kareem Hunt's playing like a very solid top 10, top 15 running back. And he's been the saving grace. And again, I got him in fantasy. I love what he's doing, and he's been saving my fantasy team as well. Appreciate him. Good fit to go back to Kansas City. Handoff. Little shoestring tackle there by the Ravens. And hopefully we get a little bit more offense in the second half. I don't think anyone is anticipating a fucking 7-7 game here. Yeah. He's been money, but also, too, the Chiefs are using him as a bell cow. They're not splitting too many carries with Steele and some of the others, which is smart. Give the guy 20 to 30 carries. He deserves it. And if Mahomes is having issues with interceptions, what a better way to, not have to worry about an interception when you just throw the fucking ball? No, you hand it off, right? Let him do the work, and he doesn't really fumble that often either, which is good. Burrow into Gesicki. First down and 10. Even though the Ravens are 6-3 and the Bengals are 4-5, based on what we've seen up in the first half, the Bengals look like a 6-3 team, at least tonight. And the Ravens are looking like the 4-5 team, Seems like they're just a little bit slow. And I don't know if they're not motivated. I mean, they got these brand new matted helmets and these all purple jerseys, but it feels like they're just trying to keep close and stay close with Cincinnati, like they're afraid. It's like you're at home, like you're 6-3. You got potentially the NFL MVP, right? Number 1 quarterback, number 1 running back, top 10 receiver. Like, what's going on here? Well, check down, but we know Burrow has been fantastic this year as well. 20 touchdowns, 4 picks going into the game, 20 touchdowns, 2 picks for Lamar. So they've both been equally fantastic this year. But I'm very confused, with the way that this game is playing out in the first half, and hopefully we can get to the teams into the 20s before the game ends. Yeah, well, also that's why Andy might be the best coach in this generation, because he can win in many different ways with him and Spags, and we haven't really seen any other coach do that before, with Tyreek, without Tyreek, and then all of a sudden shifting into a defensive team the last couple of years, and having that be the strong suit. I don't think anyone likes seeing Mahomes take a huge step back like he has from a couple years ago, but if the defense is elite and it's, normally top 3 or top 5, it was last year, this year, like top 15, there's going to be some statistics where they're in the top 5, but again, they don't really get as many interceptions, and I feel that not having L'Jarius Sneed, you can kind of feel that a little bit, not as many sack lunches, not as many picks, but there's still a defense to be respected, and again, at the end of the day, as long as you win, even if it's only by 1, a win is a win, right? You can win by 20, you can win by 10 or less every game, but at the end of the day, a win is a win, even against like the Bucks. I knew that we weren't going to win that game, but at least we made it entertaining and close. And we might have been able to go for 2 and win the game, but knowing the Buccaneers' luck, even if we would have went for 2, we would have not got it, and we would have lost. So it is what it is. And again, I don't know if I really want to see my team in the playoffs with no Evans or Godwin. I mean, it sounds like Evans might be back before the season ends and whatnot, but it's not like we have a healthy team. We had a team that could have maybe made an NFC championship game this year, but after those injuries, that we have 0 chance of that happening, and we probably won't even make the playoffs, based on those 2 injuries. So we still can battle, but we're not the same team for sure. Right. You're always going to have those rivalries with those teams, and even though you got teams in your own division with like the Broncos and the Chargers and the Raiders, they're not really rivalries because you just beat the shit out of them all the time. So really the rivalries are going to be with, like you said, Josh Allen and the Bills. With those memories that you've had in the past, right? Lamar, Joe Burrow. Those are the rivals. The teams that are in the other divisions in the AFC that are good. Those are kind of like the more natural rivals until we get better play out of the Chargers and the Raiders and the Broncos. Even though the Chargers defense and the run game has been great this year, it wouldn't shock me if the Chargers make the playoffs this year, and they could end up surprising a few people. Pass over the middle, first down, Bengals, Jamar Chase. Move the chains. Yeah, and that all starts with Baker Mayfield. Again, I'm just happy that we have a scrappy quarterback that, we like. that should be our quarterback for many years to come. And it just was bad luck, to be able to have those injuries to our 2 Hall of Fame receivers. I was really excited to win the NFC South and, make a run and see if we could end up being a team, up there with the Lions and a few others to see if we could make the run. But, not every year turns out the way that you want. But I still like, some of the players on the team, obviously, and hopefully we'll play hard. And with Baker, we will. Little check down. Chase Brown. First down, Bengals. Uh-oh, Kyle Hamilton's down. That's not good. I mean, they already have one of the worst defenses for pass defense in the league, and then if you lose Hamilton, they're really going to be bad. Like, that's probably your best player in the secondary. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, twisted his ankle. That right ankle got twisted up into the turf there. That doesn't look like it's season ending or anything. That just looks like a twisted ankle. He should be okay. Wrap it up with tape, give him a shot, and we'll probably see him in the second half. Thank God that wasn't like a non-contact injury, because a lot of times when you see a player go down and there's nobody around him, that's usually like Achilles, and it popped, and then your season's over. That was just kind of a cleat that got stuck into the turf and bent the wrong way. He'll be fine. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 6 more to get to 20. We can get there. And we're at 10, 90 to go. Giants and Panthers in Munich. Terrible matchup. Yeah, might have been, may have stepped on Giuseppe there slightly. Well, now the Ravens secondary is even going to be worse. They already had the worst secondary in the NFL. Now they're really, really bad without Hamilton. See if this ends up to a Bengal touchdown. Offsides there by the Bengal or on the Ravens. Free play and complete. Offsides, defense. Just, working. We're going to do UCLA and Iowa tomorrow. And then we're going to do Oregon and Maryland on Saturday. And then we'll do Lions and Texans on Sunday. So, I mean, if I knew that we could get better support, doing NHL and NBA, I would be open to doing that. But, if the support isn't there, I'm not going to do it until we go into 2025. And once we go into 2025, it may be limited. So, Burrow. Intercepted. Wow. Brandon Stevens with an unexpected pick from one of the worst secondaries in the NFL in 2024. Wow, that's game-changing. I mean, Chuba Hubbard will be able to do some things, but and then, Malik Neighbors and whatnot. But, I mean, there's really not a lot to – I mean, I know if I was in Germany, I was like, man. But I guess, if you're, overseas and you're getting any, football matchup, I mean, it seems like Jacksonville is almost always on a list of somewhere, overseas. And I would assume that a lot of these fans that live in Europe or overseas would like to be able to see someone other than Jacksonville. But I'm not sure if the Panthers and the Giants are that much better and whatnot. Like if the Giants still had Saquon, then that would maybe make it a little bit better. But oh, come on, Lamar. I need you to go to Andrews. I don't want to regret starting Andrews over Jonnu Smith. I just want to get to 10. Give me 10, 9 or 10 minimum. But I would love, 11 to 15. That would be great. But, I mean, hell, if we only have a 7-7 game, it's going to be pretty difficult. Who's going to end up getting the touchdown? Henry, Flowers. I mean, those guys probably have more priority than Mark Andrews, even if Isaiah Likely's out tonight. But I just have to pray that, he'll get a couple cheap targets in the second half and hopefully a red zone opportunity. You've already quit. Wow, incomplete pass. Reversed. Oh. Wow. All right, no worries. Talk soon. Shotgun set. Burrow. Can they get a sack lunch on him? There it is. Well, then you know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. I mean, they've had so many opportunities to get to Burrow, and they just haven't been able to do it. Matabuke with the sack lunch. .44 seconds left here. 3rd down and 5 on the Baltimore 14. .13 straight regular season game with 2+ sack lunches. Longest active streak in the NFL. I wish their secondary and pass defense was a little bit better, but that's something that they can work on as the years go on. Especially if they want to be able to win a Super Bowl. You got to be able to stop the pass. It's a passing league. Shotgun set. Burrow. First down, Bengals. Jermaine Burton with the catch. It feels like the Bengals, are trying to win the game, and the Ravens are just kind of going through the motions. It's like it almost feels like the Ravens are playing on the road than at home. Crowd is very quiet. Like, are they even there? Is there even people that are there watching this game? Like, it's like you got these sweet new uniforms and helmets, and it's like we haven't even heard the crowd all night. Touchdown, Bengals. Hudson with the tutty. And we both have touchdowns by the Bengals and the Ravens to the unexpected target. I don't think anyone had Hudson on their fantasy card or Nelson Aguilar, but I guess that's where we're at right now. Extra point is up and good. 14-7 Bengals. And hopefully we can get the Ravens to get into field goal range, and we can get a Tucker long field goal, and then we can have at least be 14-10, and then hopefully in the second half we can get both teams into the 20s. And then maybe one team close to 30, but we'll see. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I noticed, like I said, I look at everyone's team and I can see how many moves that have been made. A lot of people have only made, 5 moves, 10 moves, 15 moves. You're not going to be able to, make any ground if you make that little amount of moves. Then there's a few people, that have made, 40 to 50, up to this point. And I don't expect anyone to make as many moves as me, because regardless if I'm undefeated or I'm at the record that I'm at, I'm always going to have more moves, and I'm going to try to have the best bench in the league. So I'm already over 150, 3 times as much as anyone else in the league. But again, it all depends on how you play. And some people, have a good starting lineup like Zini, and really doesn't make a whole lot of moves, and it hasn't really hurt her. But again, if she has any of her stars that get injured, she's going to start sliding, down in the standings. But up to this point, it hasn't happened. So she's been, pretty much blessed with minor injuries. But I don't like playing with house money like that, and having just 9 pieces and then hoping that they stay healthy the whole year. Because again, if you don't have a good bench, and then all of a sudden it's kind of in the middle to the end of the year, and you haven't been building your bench, all you need is have a couple injuries, and then all of a sudden your bench isn't very good, and it's going to be hard to keep up with some of the teams that have a more well-built roster top to bottom. So, but again, for some people, making only a couple moves throughout the year, as long as they don't have injuries, it could work. But I know for me, I've never been able to play that way. I'm always, updating the roster and making many, many moves every single week, trying to get the best complete team top to bottom. First down and 10. Shotgun set. Lamar. There we go. Mark Andrews with a catch. I'll take that. Come on, baby. I need Mark Andrews, baby. Let's go. All right, Andrews is at 4 now. Needs 6 more. 6 more points. He should be able to get 2 or 3 looks in the second half, and hopefully one of those 3 looks is a red zone look, I'm hoping. Unless they get another catch here. I'll take another cheapie right before halftime to Andrews if possible. Come on, you looked at him already. How are you going to look at Andrews and then throw it into triple coverage to Aguilar? Come on, Lamar. And nobody needs to know that you're on the toilet, my guy. 3rd down and 7. Man in motion, Flowers, shotgun set, blitz off the edge, Lamar, get out of there, floater, there we go, there's my boy. But there's a flag on the play. Fuck! It's probably coming back due to a hold. Hopefully that's on the defense. Thank God. Hell yeah. First down, Ravens. Give me those cheapies, baby. Let's go. There we go. Thank God. There we go. Give me those points. Get that Justin Tucker field goal right before. 6.4. There we go. Exactly what I need to be at going into halftime. Hell, I'll even take one more cheapy catch. There we go. Good job, Lamar. I think I can get there. I really do. It's going to be tough because I got a lot of tough opponents to play. Tackle is inbounds, and that's halftime. Unbelievable. But again, I got Zini, and then I'm going to have like Chief and Reflect and Shep, and then I'll end the season off with Megan. And obviously Megan's team has a good enough team to score in certain weeks, big numbers. So it's not going to be easy, but I mean, it definitely would be, it would be crazy. I've never seen any team be 2-6 and make it, but again, there's always going to be a first for something. But I'm trying harder than anybody else in the league, based off the maneuvers and whatnot. I haven't given up, and hopefully I can find a way to get there. $14-7 halftime. All right, Zini's got 11 with Burrow, 9 with Chase, 4.5 with Flowers, and 15.5 with Brown. Holy fuck. But at least 6.4 out of Andrews by halftime is money. Chief, you got any other Chief players that you want to be able to see based off your dono here at halftime? Let me know. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We need 6 more to get to 20, and I know we can get that before the stream ends. Now we need 5 more. 5 more to get to 20. Let's get there. And then we're at 10, 90 to go to hit the dono train. Check up on Paisley here real quick. Give me 1 sec. All right, she's just chilling on the couch, relaxing. 14-7 Bengals. Let's take a quick look to see what we got going on in the sports world on the NBA and the NHL. I know there's not really a whole lot going on in the NBA, only 3 games. We got Bulls and T-Wolves, 103-101. Bulls up by 2 with 9 minutes to go on NBA TV. We got the Bucks 87, Jazz 72, up by 15 at home. 1:17 left in the third quarter. And then we got the Blazers down by 9 with 11 minutes left in the fourth to the Spurs. Take a look at Wembanyama's numbers, as well as Shaden Sharp. Shaden's got 9. First game this season after being hurt. Jeremy Grant with 17, Ayton with 19, Scoot with 11. And let's take a quick peek at Wembanyama's 3 for 10 with 9 points and 5 boards. And then let's take a quick look at the NHL. All right, what do we got here? We got Flames and Bruins knotted up at 3. Flyers and Lightning knotted up at 1. You got the Utah Hockey Club 2-1 over the Blues. End of the second period. Stars up 2-0 on the Blackhawks. Jets up 1-0 on the Avs. And then we got a final score. Islanders 4, Senators 2. Panthers 6, Preds 2. Devils 5, Canadians 3. I know Odin's happy there. Sabres 6, Rangers 1. Hurricanes 5, Penguins 1. And then you got Canucks, Kings, and Wild Sharks later tonight. Let's take a look at college football this weekend as far as the NFL as well. All right, we got Ohio State and Purdue, which will be a garbage game, and I assume that Gus and Joel will do that because it's the 9 a.m. game at Fox. But Ohio State should win by 1 billion. You got Miami and Georgia Tech, Texas and Florida, Georgia and Ole Miss, Michigan and Indiana, Iowa State and Kansas, Clemson and Virginia Tech, Army and North Texas, Colorado and Texas Tech, Maryland and Oregon, which we'll be doing at 4 o'clock on the Big Ten Network, obviously on Saturday, Mississippi State and Tennessee, Florida State and Notre Dame, Alabama, LSU. That'll be an interesting matchup. Both teams are 6-2. Missouri and Oklahoma, and then Washington and Penn State on Peacock at 5. I'll watch a little bit of that. Boise State and Nevada, Pitt and Virginia, BYU and Utah State at Washington State. So not very many high-profile matchups in college football this weekend, unfortunately. And let's take a look at the NFL to see if that's any better. Day in the building, what's good? Yeah, bro, Cavs looking pretty good. And so far right now, 14-7 Bengals on the Ravens. We'll see how it all kind of plays out. We got Giants-Panthers. That's going to be in Munich. Both teams are 2-7. I imagine those fans are excited for that matchup. Maybe the American fans not so much. Broncos and Chiefs. That should be a good one. Trap game for the Chiefs. Steelers and Commandos. A very good matchup there. I'll be watching that on Red Zone as well as maybe the game itself. And then we got Vikings-Jags. Falcons-Saints. Would mean a little bit more if the Saints weren't injured and beat up and whatnot. Niners and Bucks. Christian McCaffrey's first game. Can't wait for that. Bills and Colts. That could be interesting. Pats and Bears. Titans and Chargers. Chargers very underrated this year. Eagles and Cowboys. Cowboys aren't good this year, so that shouldn't really be that good of a game. No Dak, Cooper Rush. Eagles should smash. Jets and Cardinals. Lions, Texans should be good for Sunday night. And then a matchup on Monday night that I think is actually going to be better than people think. Rams and Dolphins. Tua's back, Waddle, Tyreek, Achane. And then you got Rams, obviously, with Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua. That one actually will, when you look at the records, 2-6, 4-4, it may not jump off the page. But I think that Dolphins-Rams games on Monday night will actually be a little bit better than people think. And hopefully we get some points scored on that Monday night matchup. Ooh, Thursday night, Commandos and Eagles. That'll be great. That's a great matchup for next Thursday. Okay. I'm excited. That's going to be awesome. Jaden Daniels on prime time going against Jalen Hurts. Let's go. Hell yeah. That's a great matchup, don't you think, Sarah? Commandos and Eagles, trying to be able to see who the top dog is in the NFC East. Take a look at the rankings right now as well as just the records. So we got Buffalo at 7-2. We got Pittsburgh at 6-2. Baltimore at 6-3. You got the Texans at 6-3. And then you got the Chiefs at 8-0. And then the sleeper team in the AFC that no one's talking about is the Chargers with Justin Herbert and Harbaugh. And I feel like the defense is great. They've only given up 1 touchdown on the ground all year. And again, that's the Harbaugh effect. He's going to run the football, play good defense like he did at Michigan and on the Niners. And he's implementing that with Herbert. And who would have thought that the Chargers would have to get rid of Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler, and they would be this much better. Now, I'll tell you what, if you got rid of those three players and had a shitty coach, you might be 0-8 right now. So for them to be 5-3, that's my favorite sleeper team that no one's really talking about in the AFC. They could end up upsetting someone in the playoffs this year, I feel. Then we got the Lions at 7-1 in the NFC, right? Minnesota 6-2, Green Bay 6-3. And then Chicago has kind of fell back to reality now. They're 4-4. They will finish in last. Then you got the Atlanta Falcons in first place at 6-3, and they're going to win the division. And then you got the Cardinals at 5-4, Rams and Niners at 4-4, and Seattle in last at 4-5. But anyone can take that division. It's really who's going to stay healthy and who's going to get hot at the right time. That division is definitely up for grabs, and it's the only division really that's up for grabs besides maybe the NFC North with the Lions and the Vikings and the Packers all right next to each other in record 7-1, 6-2, and 6-3. And then obviously Commandos at 7-2 and the Eagles at 6-2. So you're always going to see some of the same repeat teams, but every once in a while you'll get that new team. And obviously on the NFC with the Commandos and the Falcons, I was hoping that the Bucs would be able to be respectable, but it just doesn't feel like that's going to happen. So much better. Right. And again, it shows you like how important coaching really is, you know. And again, you know, Herbert is a dog, and it's like he needed to be able to have like a great coach right out of the gate to be able to develop properly, you know. But Anthony Lynn, garbage. Staley, garbage. And we're not talking about just normal garbage or Oscar the Grouch garbage. We're talking about like two of the worst like in the NFL. So finally, you know, Herbert's got someone that can actually lead them to the playoffs, and then maybe one day the Chargers can overachieve, and maybe we can get them to the Super Bowl or at least the AFC Championship game before Herbert's time is done there on the Chargers. Otherwise, if they move on from Herbert and then Herbert goes to his next team, you know, I feel that Herbert could be a guy, you know, that could get a team, you know, that has all the pieces already except maybe a quarterback. And if Herbert ends up leaving the Chargers one day before his career is up, he might be a guy that, you know, might not be able to get to a Super Bowl or an AFC championship game in the early part of his career. But depending on how they build the Chargers, how long Harbaugh is there, and if they have both of those guys stay and they keep improving the team, you know, maybe he can do it with the Chargers instead of that next team. But it's nice to be able to see like an Oregon quarterback that can like show that they belong. And obviously Bo Nix has already shown that with limited help, you know, on that offense that, you know, he's much better than people anticipated. You know, he's NFL ready. And again, once the Broncos get better O-line, better running backs, wide receivers, tight end, defense has been pretty good this year. Add a couple more pieces, and then we might be talking about Bo Nix making the playoffs one day as well. So, you know, it's just nice to be able to see, you know, a particular school, you know, usually like Ohio State and Oregon, you know, normally we don't have a whole lot of love, you know, based our quarterbacks, but obviously them with CJ Stroud, better than Justin Fields, kind of changing the narrative, you know, maybe not this year in college football with what they have there at Ohio State, but it's nice to be able to see, you know, finally a player that we always thought was a top 5, top 10 quarterback, but just didn't really have a defense or the right coach. And then to get rid of that coach, get rid of all the star players, kind of blow it all up, kind of like the Chip Kelly, you know, blowing up the team with like Shady McCoy and Jeremy Maclin and just blowing it all up, you know, and then trying to be able to build something there that is more about those guys. And, you know, Harbaugh is the real deal. You know, and again, it's cool to be able to see Harbaugh and Herbert have success in year one. I think a lot of people thought, okay, Harbaugh will be able to turn it around in 2, 3, 4 years, but to do it in the first year, it says a lot not only about Justin, but it says more about Jim, you know, and about Harbaugh, you know, letting these guys buy in. We got rid of Eckler, we got rid of Williams, we got rid of Keenan Allen, but guess what? We're going to ground and pound, we're going to play great defense, and we're going to find a way. And the players bought in. And if the players didn't buy in, right? Or they had a shitty coach. Maybe they only have a win or two at this point. So I really like that, record that they have at this point, and they could be that sleeper team that actually wins a playoff game instead of just getting to the playoffs as a wild card and getting fucking blasted and having a big lead on the Jacksonville Jaguars and then having Trevor Lawrence be the hero and then you be the zero. Maybe we can flip that script and have Herbert be the hero at some point or another. Reflect in the building. What's good? Yeah, but the thing is, if Harbaugh was coaching the team back then, they wouldn't have come back. And that shows you. It's like, I feel like out of all the coaches, with Lynn and Staley, clock management and, play management was the worst. They would come down and let too much time off the clock. They just weren't very good in strategic football. Those were like two of the biggest dummies. They didn't know how to handle the responsibilities of being able to maximize the clock and getting the most plays out there. And there was a lot of games that they lost right at the end of the game. Lamar, scrambling, gambling, sliding. Oh, it's all good, Chief. Well, Chief, at the end of the day, you're trying to get rings, And again, it's like it's very possible that Bo, and Herbert may never get a ring, But at least at this point, the Chargers are a little bit ahead of the curve, compared to the Broncos, just based off, where they're at with the player personnel, But it'll be nice to be able to see some of these guys develop and actually be like respectable instead of being like, another dud quarterback from Oregon or this or that, whatever narrative that they want to throw out there. But I don't think you can really say that about Herbert or Bo Nix this year. Both of them have been entertaining. Lamar, scrambling, gambling, first down and 20, got it all day and all night, pump fake. And a short gain there. $14-7 Bengals. What's good? How are you? Second down and 19. Lamar. He's got all day back there. Floater. Receiver falls down. Incomplete. Third down and 19. Yeah. But also, too, it's a trap game for the Chiefs, and at some point, the Chiefs are going to lose a couple games this year. They're not going to go undefeated, and it's not like they've been winning in convincing fashion. They've been barely winning pretty much every game, and that's not like a hater statement. It's just reality, right? But a win is a win, and we will give the credit, but it's not like Mahomes is playing like he did in the early part of his career. The defense isn't as good. It feels like the team is beatable, for maybe the very first time in the Andy Reid era. In the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce era. Now, they did pick up Kareem Hunt and DeAndre Hopkins to kind of hide some of the flaws and some of the injuries they've had with Pacheco and Rice, but it feels like, they could make the Super Bowl, but maybe they won't. Maybe they win it all. Maybe they lose in the Super Bowl this year. Like, you don't really know, but it doesn't feel like they're really as strong top to bottom as normal. But again, they do turn it up to another level when they go to the playoffs. It's a different type of Chiefs team, so I get that. But this is like the first time where I feel not only is the college football rankings where everyone's got a chance, in the NFL this year, I feel like everyone's got a chance for as far as the good teams. Like, there's a few teams in the AFC that could get there, even though the Chiefs are going to be the team that everyone assumes will get there. Same thing probably with the Lions on the NFC. But as we know, just because you're like the number one team, at the time doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make it, to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game. Sometimes you have a tough opponent prior to that, either AFC, NFC Championship game or wild card or whatever. And, if you end up playing a bad half or a bad quarter, that could be the end of the year. But I'm very excited to see how it all plays out, and I never will second guess or doubt the Chiefs, but it definitely feels like if there was a year that they could possibly lose, it's this year, and we'll see how it goes. But if they do end up getting Pacheco and he's healthy, then that'll be less throwing for Mahomes, and that'll definitely be better for the Chief fans. Hand the ball off, run the ball, play good defense, win the Super Bowl, right? Essentially, that's what you're going to try to do. And then if you do pass, right, you don't got Rashee Rice, but now you got D-Hop or Travis Kelce, and then one can be a decoy, the other can get the grabs, and each guy will kind of rotate between having the big day. Burrow, Jamar Chase wide open. Uh-oh. Wow. Jamar, touchdown, Bengals. Holy fuck. That's some big points. Oh, man, Zini just fucking raked in on me right there. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. Come on, Ravens, you bum asses with your defense. Holy fuck. Terrible defense, but that's what happens when you have the worst defensive secondary. Man, I'm going to have to really blow it up here with my guys. Burrow's at 17. Chase is at 23. Chase Brown's at 15.5. Zay is at 4.5. I mean, she's got just stud after stud after stud in the lineup. Now she's projected for 145. Fuck my life. And the game's not even over yet. 13 minutes left in the third. Fucking A. Now I need Mark Andrews to get in the end zone to even the score. So that way I feel a little bit better. If I can get Andrews to 10 to 15, then I'll feel pretty good. But golly. Appreciate you. $10 holla. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Let me know what you want to see for photos, if any, and I got you. We're at 20 now. 80 to go. Appreciate you. Yeah. But also, Chief, with Mahomes, supposed to be like the best quarterback, that's playing in the NFL, it's a little alarming, when you look at the touchdown and interception ratio and just look at how he played last year and this year. I mean, what happens if Chris Jones gets hurt? What happens if Travis Kelce gets hurt? What happens if, you end up having some, maybe not even this year, but like, it seems like the window is starting to close a little bit, and other teams are getting a little bit closer, and you're still going to be, the king of the castle, just like the Pats were, with Belichick and Brady and Gronk. But it feels like you're kind of a wounded duck. It's like you got clipped a couple times. You guys have been able to recover, by getting Hunt and getting, DeAndre Hopkins. But, it's like if you guys lose Chris Jones or, Kelce goes down, it's like, is Mahomes ever going to be the quarterback that he was at the beginning of his career, or is this kind of the downward trajectory that we're going to see Mahomes for the rest of his career? Because it's not just this year, it was last year also. So that's a little alarming for me, and I still think Mahomes is amazing, but it is a little bit alarming to see someone, throw for, 4,000 or 5,000 yards, 20, 30, 40, 50 touchdowns, and then now, sitting at a very raw number with touchdown to interception ratio. It's a little alarming. But again, at the end of the day, I guess if you're winning games, that's all that matters. But as far as like Mahomes' legacy overall, a little alarming to see the stat line the way that it is, and hopefully it'll get better. But 11 touchdowns and 9 picks is not really acceptable if you're supposed to be the best quarterback in the NFL, right? I need Mark Andrews points. That's what I need. I mean, I could have did Jonnu Smith instead. I thought both guys had a good chance to get to 10, but the Ravens definitely look like, like they're just kind of going through the motions. Like, I almost feel like this game is played in Cincinnati, not in Baltimore. The crowd is non-existent. Nobody's excited. They got these really cool purple uniforms with the new purple matte helmet, but they feel like they're just treading water. They're just trying to be able to, like, make the game close, but they're not trying to win. And again, Burrow, going into the game, 20 touchdowns, 4 picks. Lamar, supposedly the NFL MVP, right? 20 touchdowns, 2 picks. So it's not like Burrow is that far behind. He's only thrown 2 more picks, and he's got the same amount of touchdowns going into the game, but now has more, obviously, since as we see Jamar Chase with the chain now. Oh my, look at that ice. I need one of those. Where's mine, Jamar? My goodness. Bieniemy and Nagy, yeah. But also, besides the play calling, it's just like Mahomes' delivery and him out there. It just, I don't know if there's like injuries that he's hiding, within last year and this year, and we already know that he'll turn it on, but you can't tell me as a Chief fan that you're happy that he's putting up those low-ass numbers, It's like if Josh Allen were to do that, or Lamar, or Burrow, or anybody that is a top-tier, potential Hall of Fame quarterback, it's a little alarming, Winning the games are winning the game, but again, it's like no one expected him to be this bad, And just because you lost Rice, you can't use that really as an excuse because he just really hasn't been ripping it and zipping it with accuracy in the last 2 years. So I'm hoping that he gets better, but it's not like we can sweep that under the rug and act like that doesn't matter. Yeah, you can win Super Bowls and you can win chips, but again, as far as like Mahomes' legacy overall, if you're going to want to put him on like Mount Rushmore, with like, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Joe Montana and John Elway, at this stage of his career after going to these Super Bowls and being like the man, now if this was like his last year, then I'd be like, okay, Lamar, but again, we still think Mahomes has got many, many years to go. So I really want to figure out what's going on. Is he injured and he's not saying that he's injured? Like, what's really going on with Patrick Mahomes this year? First down and 10. Little screen to Zay. I'm giving you stats here. So 50 touchdowns, 12 picks, right? 26 touchdowns, 5 picks. 38 touchdowns, 6 picks. 37 touchdowns, 13 picks. 41 touchdowns, 12 picks. Then last year, 27 touchdowns, 14 picks. Almost half of the amount on the interceptions. And now this year, 11 and 9. That's a little alarming, where the interceptions now are going up and the touchdowns are going way down. That's all I'm saying. We know it's a team sport, but I'm just talking about Mahomes himself, based off, his stat line. Is this I don't want to say is this the beginning of the end, but it would be very shocking to see Mahomes put up all those monster numbers, and now he's putting up numbers like he's at the end of his career. Like he's an old man, like he's 40 or something, like he's like Aaron Rodgers or something. Lamar throws it into the turf, incomplete. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Mahomes is a little out of shape. We've always seen he's never had a six-pack and, obviously is a little bit flabby, for a quarterback. Kind of goes through those moments and whatnot. Hasn't really hurt him in the past, but maybe needs to work out a little bit more. Maybe shed 10, 15 pounds, and then, maybe we'll get the old Mahomes next year. But that definitely could be a part of it with the weight gain. And people don't think adding 5 or 10 pounds is a big deal, but it is a fucking big deal. Adding 5, 10, 15 pounds is huge. Third down and long. We'll be doing UCLA, Iowa tomorrow. And then we'll do Oregon, Maryland on Saturday, and then Texans and Lions on Sunday Night Football. All right, take care. 21-7 Ravens. Who would have thought that the Bengals would play like a top 5 or top 10 defense tonight? I don't think anyone anticipated that. 21-7. I mean, these Ravens fans thought that Henry was going to run for 100, 150, scored 2 or 3 times. They thought Zay was going to get a couple touchdowns. Maybe Andrews would get in there. Lamar would just have a field day and get like 5 touchdown passes. That didn't look very good today. Yeah. I mean, they had Tyreek, and then they won with Tyreek, won without Tyreek, and then the offense got a little worse, defense got better. But are we going to end up having like, top 10 defense, top 10 offense? Are we ever going to get that again? I'm just saying, because I haven't seen a guy that supposedly is the best quarterback in this generation like fall off like that. So I need to figure out what's going on with him. Right. Yeah, but the Kareem Hunt is putting up pretty much the same stat line as Pacheco, roughly. Maybe Pacheco could get a little bit more yards, and there might have been a couple more extra touchdowns that he would have been able to get. But, Kareem Hunt and Pacheco is almost like a push. But the Rice, obviously losing him, but now they got D-Hop. So now they got someone that can catch, like a Rice, and obviously be a threat, even though he's old. I just want him to be able to get back to where he was. Hopefully he will, get back to that player that he was back in the day. How much different, though? I mean, let's be real. Based on how you've seen last year and this year, I mean, like, how much? Like, the offensive line really hasn't been that great. So that's part of it, right? Mahomes, maybe not having enough time to go through the progressions and whatnot. Maybe the play calling, might have something to do with it as well, right? Yeah. An offensive line can definitely hinder a lot of things, prevent you from, getting the most out of your running backs and obviously protecting the blind side and, making sure that you can extend plays. Because we haven't really seen Mahomes do as much like bootleg and like, kind of RPO. They're always going to be doing trick plays here and there, little flips and whatnot. But hopefully we end up seeing the best version of him sooner than later. Yeah, but also too with like Burrow and Allen, they can put up good stats, but I mean they don't have necessarily the best coaching or defense. So again, once these teams end up maybe getting a defense. I mean the Bengals did have a defense before they let Bates go, but again they don't have the same kind of roster. So it's like you can have these other guys that are going to be compared to Mahomes, but they don't have Kelsey, they don't have Andy Reid, they don't have Spags, and they don't have a defense that's really good. So it's kind of hard to be able to go further. If you don't have a defense, it's like Ravens don't got a D, Buffaloes don't got a D, Bengals, they don't have a D. So it's like they're all offense. They don't have anything close to what the Chiefs have as far as defensively in the last couple of years. Yeah, the enemy, it felt like there was a little bit more consistency with him there. I would agree with that for sure. 2nd down and 6. Little check down. Ooh, nice drop. We're at 20, 80 to go. I don't know if anyone anticipated this score to be 21-7. But that's the NFL for you. You never really know what you're going to get game in and game out. Maybe I think the Ravens came into this game a little cocky and overconfident, thinking that they own the Bengals, which they have in the Burrow era, but they're not playing like they own the Bengals here tonight. Joe Burrow is going for blood. And they don't have T. Higgins, so there's no excuse. It's like they have one of their weapons that's not even playing. But the Bengal defense has been really the reason why the game is, the way that it is right now. The O-line and the defense are winning the matchups on that line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 6. Shotgun set. Burrow. 1st down, Bengals. Move the chains. Hudson. 1st down, Cincinnati. But the Ravens, they're not going to let anything go over the top. But if you're just going to let them have everything in the middle, I mean, I've seen bad defenses before, but this is ridiculous. Run defense for the Ravens is average. Secondary is like almost dead last. So Burrow can do pretty much whatever he wants. Short game by Chase Brown. Defense, baby. Yeah, and also they typically had a top 10 defense for Brady that no one really talked about. Almost every year with Belichick, they had a top 10. They might have not had a bunch of superstar names on the defense, but they were always stout. Oh, fumble. There we go. That's what I needed. That's what the Ravens needed. Now I need a Mark Andrews touchdown, baby. Let's go. There we go. That's exactly what they needed. Defense is fucking terrible. Make a fucking play. There we go, Baltimore. There we go. Finally, you hear the Ravens crowd for the very first time in the game. Make a fucking play. Rip that fucking football out. Nice job by Marlon Humphrey. There you go. Lamar. Now they have the momentum. They should be able to get a field goal out of this drive minimum, if they're smart. But we'll see, if they, go for it on 4th down and just try to push for that touchdown. We'll find out. Yeah, 1 point difference. That's wild. Maybe that's destiny right there. Chiefs and Lions in the Super Bowl. Could happen. Probably the most likely scenario that would happen. Those are the teams that, even though the Chiefs don't look, maybe as good as their previous teams, they're better than, almost every team in the AFC and the NFC. NFC is a little bit more competitive in my mind than the AFC, though. AFC is a little weak to me, Like, if we're being honest, like, if you're looking at all the teams top to bottom, the NFC has better teams overall top to bottom than the AFC this year. AFC's got a couple, teams, but if you're going and you're looking at how many quality teams in each conference, AFC's weak. Now, the powerhouse teams that are towards the top are pretty good, but there's a lot of shitty teams in the AFC this year. Yeah, well, everyone knows it's a defensive, oriented team now from not only last year but this year, and that's the way that they're going to roll. Yeah, but it would be a better feeling like if you had a similar stat line with like Lamar or Burrow. Like if Patrick Mahomes was at 20 touchdowns, 2 picks, you'd feel a hell of a lot better about the offense right now than being at 11-9. Lamar, give it to Mark Andrews, sucker. Lamar dancing, romancing. Look at Lamar. Holy moly, Lamar down to the 1. That'll probably be a King Henry handoff. It'd be beautiful if I can get a Mark Andrews touchdown right here. But I don't think that they're going to do that when you got the best running back in football at the 1. This will either be a QB sneak by Lamar or a handoff to Henry for a tutty. Yeah, Chiefs-Lions would be fucking fantastic. The majority of the country would be obviously rooting for the Lions to beat your Chiefs, but again, championship experience. Andrews, man in motion, handoff. Touchdown, Derrick Henry. Oh, scored a touchdown every game this season. I wish I had that. Now the game is a little bit more competitive. That is true. Well, at least at this point in the Mahomes era, it's either offense really, really good, defense, middle of the pack, like 15th, or now, offense kind of shaky, but the defense, obviously better. But one thing, though, is if you look at the defense compared to last year, at least, big play opportunities, it seems like, the L'Jarius Sneed departure is definitely missed a little bit. I don't know. I just expected a lot more sack lunches and interceptions. And you had the one game with the 3 picks against the Niners, but you haven't really been intercepting the football as much as I think that, we thought was going to happen this year. But there's still, half the season to go. So maybe the interceptions will be coming here in the second half of the season. Nice run there by Derrick Henry, 21-14, Bengals. Like, it's kind of crazy to me that the Chargers have only given up 1 rushing touchdown all year. Stats like that are wild. Like, how can you be this far into the season, like 9-10 games in, and you've only given up 1 rushing touchdown? I guess that's the Harbaugh effect coming from Michigan and the Niners. But and we already know that they got guys out there. Bosa, Khalil Mack, right? Derwin James, right? Asante Samuel Jr. But in years past with, shitty coordinators and shitty coaches like Lynn and Staley, it didn't matter. But now, the defense is finally playing up to their potential with Harbaugh. And sometimes you have to do a double take when you're looking at stats. I almost felt like that's not possible. I get the Chargers are 5-3, but they've literally given up 1 rushing touchdown all year. And we're 9-10 games in. That's fucking nuts. But again, that's good defense for you. Captain in the building. What's good? Defense, baby. Wins games, wins championships. Captain with a 5. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. And we gave a lot of love, to Megan and Zini, going at it. But Captain Oreo had players playing in that last game from last week. He ended up actually being the number 1 scorer in fantasy last week. So I wanted to congratulate you because I know we were giving all the love, to Zini and Megan, both battling it out with 150 plus. But you actually ended up scoring more points than them last week. So I want to make sure that we give you a little acknowledgement there for the good week that you had. And it shows you, you can be bad early in the season, right? You can be bad early in the season. But again, if your players start to get healthy and you can get the right lineups and get hot at the right time, me and Captain are trying to be, those people that were at the bottom and we're trying to climb to the top. And, nice job. Sometimes, we don't expect to start as slow as we did and to go on losing streaks of, 1, 2, 3, 4 games in a row. But you've recovered. I've recovered to a certain degree. And if I can beat Zini this week, I'm in business. And again, if I can get to, obviously 6-6, we get to those last 2 games and I can get to 8-6, I might be able to get that last spot. But I'm going to have to be playing not only Zini this week, I got Reflect, I got Chief Will Chief, I got Shep. So realistically, it's probably not going to happen because I'm going to be playing the best people in the league for the last end of the schedule, which is tough. But you never know. That's what makes fantasy interesting. But this is going to be the first week that I'm going to have Kupp and McCaffrey. And if I can ride them, the whole way, maybe I can do a little bit of damage. But congratulations on getting your team back on track, Captain. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. But I wanted to make sure that we acknowledged you because we didn't really talk about it because we were kind of waiting for that last game to wrap up. And then when the games all ended, I don't know if anyone really looked at the points like I did, but I want to make sure that we give you that recognition. 21-14 Bengals. I mean, I'm hoping I can have a couple of those nice weeks of 150. I mean, 200 is almost out of the question, or 190. It's like, hell, it's like when you're getting like usually 125 points or less. At this point, I'll be thrilled if I can get 130 to 150, at any given moment. And if I get anything above that, it's like, a fucking holiday. Burrow, little play action fake. Stepping up, Jamar Chase. First down, Bengals. Man, this is a field day. Yeah. But as you're starting to see, like some of the teams at the top are having injuries and it's a little bit harder, to be able to win some of the matchups. And if you notice, like teams at the bottom and the middle are starting to get hot now at this part of the season. But it just depends on if we can climb out of the hole that we dug ourselves into at this point. The teams at the top, have a comfortable win-loss record where they're not going to have to worry, at least for 3 teams. But that last spot is going to be, a battle. There's going to be like 6 teams battling for that last spot. And who's going to get it? I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But it's pretty fucking even. I feel that some of the teams that have better records than some others are going to slide a little bit down. And then the teams at the bottom are going to start climbing to the top. But will there be enough games and enough time to get to that last spot of 4th place? Chase Brown again. Yeah, well, I think Saints fans and Bucks fans are kind of in the same boat. We already know everything's fucked. It's like the Falcons are going to win the division by default. At this point, I mean, at least I have fun watching my team play still. Saints fans stopped watching. They don't even watch their games anymore. And if they do, all they're doing is swearing at the TV the whole time. Now, they did get rid of Dennis Allen, so that's one good thing that losing to the Panthers did. They gave up on their coach, and they finally got him fired. But Jamar Chase having a fucking field day. And, of course, I'm going against the person that has Jamar Chase and Burrow and Zay and Chase Brown. I mean, golly, can we, split up some of those matchups? Golly. He's at 70 already. Fucking A. 70 out of 4 fucking spots? Fuck. Really making it hard for me here. But I still feel confident in the players that I have. Darnold with a green 32 matchup against Jacksonville. McCaffrey, Kareem Hunt, Cooper Kupp, Devontae, Downs, Detroit D and Aubrey, Connor Pollard, Tillman. I wish I could use Tillman this week if he didn't have a bye with the Browns. That could have been my saving grace, but hopefully Downs can put up similar numbers than Tillman. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Matabuke with another sack lunch. End of the third quarter, 21-14 Bengals. For real, though. We're at 25, 75 to go. End of the third quarter, 21-14 Bengals. Yeah, and I think right now, for Elliott, prayers up to him because you remember when I told you, when we ended up having an individual that had their mom die, it was Elliott. So that's why, even though I didn't really have the money to do it, I ended up sending him, $35 to, buy him dinner, on Friday, just to try to make things a little bit better. No, Zini is an Eagles fan, but she's just smart and knows how to be able to double up and triple up with players. But that's why we haven't seen Elliot in the chat, for a little bit. So when Elliot does come back, make sure you guys give him a warm welcome and whatnot. And, again, his mom was sick, for the last couple years and whatnot. And we know Elliot is one of the youngest, on the channel besides Matt. And, anytime you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, you don't expect to lose your mother or father, and he's like my little bro and obviously youngest mod. Hopefully, he'll be back at some point or another. But I think at this point, he probably doesn't really care too much about the Saints or the fantasy team. He's still going to try and whatnot, but hopefully we'll be able to see him sooner than later. I miss him. I feel for him. And hopefully, things are, it's not going to ever be great, but hopefully things will slowly get a little bit better day by day. So, but that's who I ended up, when I told you guys that story, that's who I was talking about. So I didn't know if you guys put that together, put the pieces together and whatnot, but yeah, like I said, I think about him every day, and I hope things can get better to the best of of the situation. So, end of the third, 21-14 Bengals. I mean, regardless if you're young or you're old, losing a family member is always going to be incredibly difficult. Family member, mom, dad, cousin, brother, sister, aunt, best friend. I mean, it's all going to be fucking painful. Dog, like fucking Ben Herbstreit, rest in peace. It's never easy to lose family, whether it's a dog or a cat or, someone that's blood related. But, make sure you guys put, him in your prayers. Yeah, and I mean he's incredibly young too. It's not like he's like my age. Where you're in your 40s or whatnot. It's like he barely got to have enough time. With his mom, and I can only imagine. But I felt that even though I didn't really have the money to do it, that I felt that was the right thing to do, because I kind of thought about doing it, and then I was like, man, I don't really have the money to do this, but I thought, it would be really nice if someone would do that for me, that I wouldn't expect it, and even some of his, family members or friends might have not done a gesture like that. So I thought it might not be a big deal to some of y'all, but sometimes when you have a horrible, tragic thing happen and someone will go out of their way to, buy you dinner or try to make things a little bit better when they don't have to do that. I know that would mean a hell of a lot to me, and I think it meant something to him. So, all right, we're in the fourth quarter now. 3rd down and 16 for the Bengals. Burrow escapes the pressure and complete. 4th down and 16. Baltimore gaining a little momentum now. Secondary still stinks, but at least it's tightening up a little bit here. Yeah, they sent blitzes from both ends. It's not like, was that like both corners or both on the edge there? Wow. And that should have been PI on Jamar. He was climbing on his back, but I guess they gave enough calls, against the Ravens in the first half that they want this game to be a little bit closer. Yeah. And prayers up for Kirk Herbstreit. He's doing the game right now, but he's got a definitely heavy heart. Anytime you have a golden retriever, Goldens end up getting cancer more than almost any dog on planet Earth. And, There's such beautiful puppies. There's such beautiful dogs. Breaks my heart, but I'm glad that, Ben got to travel with Kirk last year and this year, before the cancer kicked in, and cancer is one of the biggest factors in Goldens, which is really sad. And, it definitely made me shed a little tear today after seeing some videos and some of Kirk's posts and some of the people that posted little tribute videos of Ben, like kind of like a compilation video. I'm so close with Paisley as well. And, I can only imagine, not having her in my life and how I would feel. So you end up having a dog or a cat, make sure you go out of your way. You end up being lazy with your dog or cat, and you don't give it the proper attention or love or walks. You never know when you wake up the next day and they're not there. Don't take it for granted. 2nd down and 5. For every one day that we live is like a week for a dog. For cat, it might be a little bit different based off cat years and dog years. But, if you have a mentality like that, you will go above and beyond. They deserve it. Not every person deserves to have a dog, but every dog deserves to have, a parent and someone that loves them. Facts. 3rd down and 2. Lamar. There we go. Down the sideline. Nice stiff arm. Wallace down the sideline. Did he go out of bounds? Touchdown, Ravens, but did he step out, though? I assume he did. Can I see a replay? Looks like he stayed in bounds for the most part. Wow, there you go, Ravens. Let me look at the feet. There's like one step that early on was close, but it looked good. Nice job by the Ravens there. There's like 1 foot that is close, but right there. You see that? That right foot? That right foot was close. Every other step is money, but that one step with that right foot looked like it might have clipped the line, barely. But that was a hell of a play there. I imagine they'll just give him the touchdown. Wow, look at that. It looks like the toe is in the green and then the heel is off the ground. So, the heel is obviously out of bounds slightly, but it was in the air. Nice job. Extra point is up. No good. Wow. And are they going to lose this game because of Justin Tucker? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Way to deflate the drive after the big play by Wallace, and you can't even make the extra point? What's going on with Justin Tucker? Used to be like the best kicker in the game, and now is like unreliable. Unbelievable. Oh, Burrow with 20, Chase with 28, Chase Brown with 17. Man, Zini is not making it easy for me. The only good thing right now is Zay is at a 4.5, but that probably won't last. Hope I have some monster fucking players step up. All right, Ravens, I need that Mark Andrews touchdown. Let's go. Help your boy out. I'm getting blasted early on. I need to make sure I even the score. Get me 11 to 15 total out of Andrews, and then I'll be in good shape. And then reflect and captain, if there's anything that you want to see photo-wise for your donos, let me know. If you want to wait till later, at the end of the stream or not at all. I mean, it's totally up to you, but I'll throw that out there. Boswell. Who's waking up early to watch Giants and Panthers? Anyone? You got to wake up 6:30 a.m. You know, it's kind of crazy, even though that matchup is like so incredibly shitty, like we usually see with like Jacksonville, you know, in the foreign country as well, playing against whoever, right? But as sad as that matchup is, I probably will watch that game and I'll probably be up at that time. I don't know. I'm a sucker for the NFL. I mean, even if I don't have fantasy players playing in that game, I mean, if I'm up with Paisley, I'm going to turn it on. You know, what am I going to do? Just be up and not watch it? Of course, I'll fucking turn it on. Yeah. Finley's like, I'm watching. That's my team. Well, at least you got like Chuba Hubbard. That's exciting. And I will be rooting for you guys to win. You know, I would definitely will be rooting for the Panthers to beat the Giants for sure. Hey, I need the Mark Andrews points, Chief O'Chief. Well, we got 13:30 left. I mean, we both can get Zay and Andrews points hopefully before the game is over. And it's like, you know, when you have players that are hitting on all cylinders like Burrow and Brown and Jamar Chase, it might have not been that sexy for you, Captain, at the beginning of the year with Brees and obviously with Garrett Wilson and whatnot. But, you know, now, you know, obviously getting rid of Mike Williams and now Devontae is there. It feels like they're going to start ramping up a little bit here at the end of the season, at least production-wise. Shotgun set. Chase Brown with the short game. Yeah, I mean, any game that's on, I mean, if I'm awake, I'm watching. I mean, obviously, there'll be other shows that, you know, that I'll be watching as well. But, I mean, it's like I don't need to be watching Walking Dead, you know, at 6 in the morning, you know, or True Blood or any other show that I'm watching. Yeah, me too. Yeah, Chuba's money, man. If you actually look at his numbers this season. Started off a little slow and then got really fucking hot in the middle of the season there. Good tackle there by the Ravens. Yeah. You know, and again, you know, we'll see with Thielen at one point, if he can get, you know, somewhat healthy on the field, that could be another weapon that might be able to do a little, not like a lot, but, you know, yeah. And if you give more opportunities to Leggett, then you could probably end up getting a little bit more production on the offense too. 3rd down and 6. Burrow. 1st down, Bengals. God, the Ravens D is terrible. Oh, gosh. Come on, Baltimore. Good job by Joe Burrow there. And that's your worst nightmare in fantasy, playing against someone that's a top 3 player that's got 3 fucking players playing against you, against a shitty defense. You know, then you know they're just going to be fucking raking up monster points. The Ravens aren't going to be able to win a Super Bowl or get to a fucking Super Bowl unless that defense gets fixed. You know, it's like the offense is sexy with Lamar and Henry and, you know, and Zay, but Andrews and Likely, but man, that defense stinks. Burrow? Man, it's Brown, more Brown. Fuck, man. Killing me here. Hitting me like fucking Lauryn Hill and the Fugees. Killing me softly. Fuck. 77.9 out of 4 players. Fuck. Third down and 2. 21-20 Bengals. Kind of a snoozer early on, but then it got a little bit better. Play clock running down. Burrow going deep. Incomplete. 4th down and 2. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, like the Ravens can't stop a nosebleed, so it doesn't matter if it's 4th and 2, 4th and 5, hell, even 4th and 7. You know, it's like you feel that Burrow is a, top 5 quarterback playing like a top 3 this year, right, with Lamar and a few others. They can't stop a nosebleed. You would assume that they will have a decent chance, but let's see if the Ravens can get enough pressure to be able to stop them. I think they will. Fourth and 2. Burrow going deep. Should have went for a short route. They went for the jugular and incomplete. That was a bad play call on back-to-back plays. You're going for the jugular right there at the end, but there's still 9 minutes left. So even if you get a touchdown there, it's not like the game is over. That's definitely bad play calling. I mean, going deep once and then going deep at the other end. When you only need 2 yards, you can just go to Chase Brown with a little screen, right, or a little draw, and you can get the first down. That's a little mind-boggling there, but at least it gives the Ravens a chance now. Yeah, but now the Ravens got the ball, and we would assume that Zay will probably get to 10, and I'm hoping Andrews can get me to at least 10 so I can have a shot. So, yeah, I beat her week 1, even though I didn't get a chance to use Christian McCaffrey, and I had a monster day out of Cooper Kupp, and the only way that I was going to end up having any chance against her is if I had Kupp and McCaffrey both playing, and it looks like I will, but I'm going to have some fucking monster numbers out of my guys. I'm going to need Darnold to get me 20. I need McCaffrey to get me 20 to 30. I'm going to need Kareem Hunt to get 14 to 20. I need Kupp to get me 15 to 30. I need Adams to get me 15 to 20. I need Andrews to get me to at least 10. I need Downs to get me 15 to 20. And then Detroit D, hopefully like 8. And then Aubrey, I'm hoping 10 to 12. And if I can get that, then, unless I decide to put Connor in for Downs, Connor will probably get 14 to 18. But other than that, the only piece that I would love to use is Tillman, but he's got a bye. So no one else is going to get a shot to play in my lineup this week. And then hopefully, Jonnu Smith doesn't go off for like fucking 20, and then I lose, after everyone else goes off. But, yeah, again, there's a reason why the teams are in the top 3, with Reflect and with Shep and Zini. The teams have some monster players. And again, if you end up playing against a shitty defense, you're going to have some big fucking weeks. And, if I would have put Joe Burrow, maybe I would be in the position that Zini's in, but I definitely strayed away and I paid the price. Should have picked Burrow when I had the chance. But you live and you learn. Yeah. I had to pick up Jared Goff for Reflect for next week. I had Stafford, but Goff plays Jacksonville. I have to give myself a chance against, someone like Reflect. I have to look 1 week ahead. And, again, some of y'all have made 5 moves. Some of y'all have made 10 or 15 moves. There's a couple of y'all like Reflect and Megan that have made 40 to 50. And I'm at over 150. So I'll definitely be over 200 by the time the season ends, regardless if I'm undefeated or have one loss like Reflect, or if I'm fucking 3-6. I'm going to be making moves to create the best team top to bottom. But I'm hoping that that my players can hit and I can give Zini a little run for her money. But obviously coming off to a fast start here. Wide open. First down, Ravens. But it really just comes down to who the Bengals play. Because if they have a tough matchup, then you might be able to win. But if you're going to have a shit matchup on defense like I do today with the Ravens, then, Burrow's eating, Chase Brown is eating, Jamar Chase is eating. Hard to win, when you end up playing a team that's got literally like the worst fucking defense, at least as far as, pass defense is concerned. But that's where Zini has struggled in her losses, is when the Bengals play a good defense. There we go. Mark Andrews, baby. First down. Ravens. Now keep it going to Mark Andrews, baby. Give me a chance. 8.5. Give me a couple more catches. If I can't get the tutty, at least get me to 10. 1.5 points away. Come on. Come on, baby. If I can just get to 10 to 18 out of Andrews, getting the touchdown would be great. But if I don't get it, just a couple more catches in garbage time, even though they're only down by 1. Handoff. Henry. Decent game. Second down and 1. Yeah, if Zini had her choice, she would have Jalen, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown for sure. If she could have her choice. But obviously, dipping in with Burrow and Jamar Chase and doubling up, if they have a great year like this year, then you're going to be raking. But if they ended up having a bad year, then, maybe it should be middle of the pack. But it worked for her. She's got a lot of top 10 pieces in her lineup, and that's why she's in the top 3. And that's why if you look at the top 3 teams in the league and how many top 10 players they have, that's the reason why. The more top 10 players you have, the better that you're going to be. Lamar, little check down. Henry on first down and 10 with the short game. Yeah, and first game for Shaden Sharp all season. So, again, we know the Blazers stink, but at least that, they're going to be almost full strength, since they haven't had Sharp all year. And if you look at Scoot, at Sharp, and Kling Kong, our rookie, who I really love, Jeremy Grant and a few others, it's like we got, some guys, but we're the second youngest team in the NBA. So, again, we're not making the playoffs. We're going to get our ass kicked a lot, but I still will watch occasionally. Justice Hill, short game. Touchdown, Mark Andrews. Woo! Boom, boom, boom. You ask and you shall receive, baby. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. If Zini's going to put up 1 billion, I got to be able to fucking put up some fucking points too. Let's go. Bang. Fuck yeah. Let's go. I had a feeling that he was going to score today too. Let's go. Like, I have these feelings sometimes, where guys are going to score, and I have to not look at like the projections or green or neutral. Sometimes when you pay too much attention to boom, bust, or green, neutral, red, unless it's like a red 1, 2, or 3, sometimes you just got to be able to trust your gut. And that's one thing that I haven't done enough this year is trust my gut, and it is possible that Jonnu Smith will get in the end zone, for, Tua going against the Rams on Monday night. But with no Isaiah Likely tonight, I thought, I don't know how many targets he's going to get, probably 4 or 5, but I felt like this was a touchdown kind of game, and there it is. Hell yeah. I still might lose, but again, at least I'm, on pace with the one player that I have playing against her 4 tonight. 2-point conversion is good. Let's go. Lamar walking in, baby. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Andrews was 17.3. I got a chance, baby. She's got 77.9, but again, I only have one player. She's got 4. But that was huge. And that would have been big, obviously, for Zay if he ended up getting that touchdown as well, because he was already at 4.5. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, baby. I mean, I would have been happy with 10, out of Mark Andrews, but to get 17, that's like the highest that he's gotten all year, besides one other game where he got 2 touchdowns against Tampa and got 20. Fuck yeah, baby. That's why I had to give up Laporta and then reflect you ended up grabbing him. If I could trust Laporta a little more, I would have kept him on my bench. But again, sometimes, you have other needs. And whatever I drop, I already know reflect or some other top-tier player is going to grab my player and then insert them in their bench or their lineup. And hopefully Sam Laporta can play like a Mark Andrews. But, Mark has been more, kind of dialed in the offense than Sam. Not saying that Sam can't. And this, bottom half of the year, you got Njoku too, even though he's got a bye. And obviously Njoku is more trustworthy because obviously him and Tillman are going to get all of Jameis's passes. And I'm just very confused, with Ben Johnson. Like, you got 10 tutties as a rookie. Like, why aren't they not going to Laporta? Like, they're acting like he's like some kind of bum, like he can't do it. And in the beginning of the year, it was because of J-Mo. They wanted him to have more deep threats, but it's like, I feel with like Amon-Ra, and Laporta, they haven't really been able to get the same amount of targets and looks as last year. Gibbs and Montgomery are getting their fair share, but what about the others? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Laporta will get in the end zone for you. Reflect this week. I know you're going to need it. Yeah, but I can only go so many weeks in a row of 4 or 5 points where I can get that somewhere else. And I probably hung on to him too long just because of his name recognition, praying that Goff would get him the fucking ball and he could get in the end zone. And if he doesn't get in the end zone, at least give me 8, 9, or 10 so I can keep you on the team. But, when Andrews became available, I was like, okay, I got to upgrade, and go that route. So, but hopefully it'll work out for you too. Double E with 26. And now Lamar, right, with Elliott drafting Lamar in the first round, doesn't really look stupid anymore. Like, he's the MVP. It's like Elliott knew that Lamar was going to be the MVP this year and didn't want to take a chance on someone else drafting him in the 2nd or 3rd or 4th round. And sometimes you have to take a risk like that. And, he's not in last place. He's not in first. So obviously he missed out on a stud running back or wide receiver, that he could have taken before possibly getting Lamar. But again, it could have been someone like me where you draft a guy and you can't even use him, like McCaffrey. So he could have went that route and not even, had a player that he could have used. So shout out to Double E for getting those big monster stats out of Lamar Jackson. It might be the only time that a first-round quarterback would be acceptable, in the fantasy. Of course, there's going to be others that will put up similar numbers. But again, if you end up winning the MVP, right, going deep, oh, God, fucking A. Well, now I lost. Jesus Christ. Like that? Golly, Jesus Christ. Just when I get excited about Mark Andrews, then we got this shitty-ass Raven defense that's going to make her score goddamn 200. She's at literally 100 points with 4 players. Are you fucking kidding me? Jamar Chase with 45? Fucking get the fuck out of here. Unbelievable. I'm trying to make my comeback tour, and every player that I have to play is going to make it extra hard on me. Jesus Christ. 100 points? 28 out of Burrow, 45 out of Chase, 21 out of Chase Brown. Like, can you give me a little bit of a chance? Fuck. Ridiculous. Now I better get a fucking Mark Andrews touchdown to match that fucking Jamar touchdown. Now I need Andrews to get me fucking 25. That's like really the only way I'm going to be able to keep up unless McCaffrey or Kupp go fucking crazy. Golly. Almost a 50 bag from a receiver? Fuck. Jesus. Yeah, McDonald left, and they got a shitty secondary. It's ranked dead last, and it shows. Jesus Christ. Now, but the thing is that this is against the Ravens. Who do the Bengals play next week? Again, if they play a defense that's good, he's not going to put up numbers like this. It's not like Burrow and Chase are going to just do this to every team they play. They do it to the shitty teams with the shitty defenses. Yeah, she could. She's won it before. And it definitely helps when you got 3 on one team. I mean, I did that shit last year with Laporta, Montgomery, and Amon-Ra, and I fucking raked everybody last year. She's doing the same exact shit. 3 players, and she just picked up Brown, too, and she's cashing in. Nice job, Zini. 28-28. I wish, someone could have a, big game for me, I mean, I'll take the Andrews with the 17.3, but hell, that's not going to be good enough. Now I need Andrews to fucking get the game-winning touchdown for the Ravens here. Oh, motherfucker. Are you kidding me? I don't think I've seen anybody put up almost 100 with 4 players. But, of course, it has to happen against me. It can't happen against anybody else, but it has to happen against me, of course. And then I still got to play Reflect. I got to play fucking Chief will Chief. I got to play fucking Shep. And then at the end, I still got to play Megan. Even if she doesn't make the playoffs, her team is still good enough to throw up a 140, 150, 160. Oh. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Golly. All right. I need another Mark Andrews touchdown. Shotgun set. Lamar. Get rid of it, Lamar. Get open, Mark. Threw it to Mark Andrews, but was it intercepted? It looked like it was. Wow. He threw it to Andrews, and it got picked. Motherfucker. Did it hit the ground, though? I don't think it did. Let's look. Did it hit the ground? Hits the ground, baby. Hits the ground, baby. There we go. I love that. I love that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Yeah. Well, again, it's just bad luck in me playing her this week. It's like any week but this week. You literally are playing the last ranked secondary in football, like dead last. Of course, I have to play her when they have like the best opportunity. I knew that Burrow and Chase were going to have great days today, but I didn't think it would be this bad. Fuck. I was hoping 20 to 25 for Burrow and 20 for Chase, but not almost 50. And then obviously fucking Chase with a big fucking number 2. Yeah, but Chargers have a good run defense and a good defense overall. They're not going to give up big numbers like this. They might still be able to put up good numbers, but not monster numbers. It's different. And also they've only given up 1 rushing touchdown up to this point. So the Chase Brown, he still might be able to get 14, but maybe no touchdown. So yeah, better. Yeah, it's just my luck. It would be a Zay Flowers touchdown. It would be that. The only way I have any chance if Andrews gets in the end zone again. If Andrews gets in the end zone again and gets me 20 plus, and then the rest of my guys hit, I still might lose, but I might be able to, keep it close and maybe even win if my guys hit. That's a big if. Shotgun set. Lamar. First down, Ravens. Rashad Bateman. $98 points out of 4 players. Unbelievable. Now 101. There's Zay. Of course, he has 100. She scored more points with 4 players than I have in half of my weeks in fantasy this year because I haven't been able to use my best players. Unbelievable. But that's what happens when you're a top 3 team like Reflect, Zini, and Shep. You're just ruthless. You just don't give a fuck. You're just going to beat whoever it is, no matter what it is. There's Zay. Yeah, Bengals Chargers is going to be amazing. That'll be a fun game to watch next week. Going from one Harbaugh to the next, right? They got to go against one, and then John, and then they're going against Jim. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. I haven't checked in a while. I hope that we're close to 20. Henry, rumbling and a bumbling. How many likes away from 20 are we? We got to only be like a couple away if we're not there yet. What are we at? 17? We need 3 more. If there's anyone in the room that hasn't done it, now we're 2 away. Hopefully we can get 2 before the game ends, so I can actually not lose my sanity here. But I am happy with what Andrews did because, again, I still would have been happy with 10, but not after that second touchdown by Burrow and Chase. Now it's like, now I have to be fucking greedy, and I need that second touchdown out of Andrews. I don't like being greedy to the sports gods, but I mean, fucking Zini's forcing my hand here. 100 fucking points, over 100 with 4 players. Jesus. All right, sports gods, it's been tough, right? I haven't given up. 150 plus moves, just like I do, when my team's undefeated or have a loss. I mean, I need you to dig deep for me. I mean, I'm going against a heavy hitter here. I need a blessing. You gave me one, but I need one more. Give me one more blessing. How's the Chargers secondary compared to their run defense? They've only given up 1 rushing touchdown, but what's the Chargers pass defense? Where are they ranked? I mean, obviously they normally have Derwin James out there when healthy and Asante Samuel Jr. and a few others, but what is the Chargers pass defense rank this year? Shout out to Kirk Herbstreit. Shout out to fucking Ben Herbstreit. Rest in peace. Fucking dog died of cancer today. Made me shed a tear. I mean, shit, I shed tears even when Paisley's alive. Just thinking of the day that I don't have her around anymore. Little screen to Zay. Of course it's Zay. Flag on the play. And has, and it's his job to be able to call the games and whatnot, but it's like, it's just so shitty that golden retrievers have cancer. Like, that's like the number one thing that they usually die from. This is terrible. There's a guy that's in my neighborhood that's got 2 Goldens, I think a boy and a girl, and they look like they're seniors. And he walks just as much as I do. And we always seem to cross paths. Early in the morning, 6, 7, 8 a.m., I see him. I decide to go for the afternoon one at 11, 12, or 1. I see him. And we fucking walk far, like miles and miles and miles away from our houses. I walk past his house. He walks past mine, and sometimes we're miles away from where we live, but I always cross his path, and he's always walking both. Never talked to him. I've always wanted to kind of, say hello, but it's not really in my nature, when I'm just walking Paisley and whatnot. Little check down. Andrews, baby. 8th in total yards allowed, but first in TDs allowed just 10. And I don't think anyone will really understand the bond with a cat or dog unless you actually have experienced it yourself. Like if you experience it yourself, then you understand. But if you don't, you have no fucking idea. Like, like you hear about it, you see your friends, you see family that, go goo-goo and gaga over their dog, like when you see people posting, their baby photos, and some people have cute babies, some people have ugly babies, but, they just love their baby, so they're just showing it off, and then you get those people that, love their cat or dog, and some people are like, why does this person keep posting their cat or dog so much? They just don't get it, but at the end of the day, it's not a pet, man, it's family. Shotgun set, 2nd down and 10. First down, Ravens. All right, we're at the 2-minute warning here. So 8th in total yards, first in TDs allowed, just 10, and only given up 1 rushing touchdown all year. And then the Ravens, 21st for yards and giving up 24 TDs. Worst secondary. Oh, man. Worst secondary in football. Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I had a purebred Samoyed growing up, but I didn't have the type of connection with it like I do with Paisley. And obviously, Paisley sleeps with me every night, and I give her all my love and attention. And it saved my life, like for real. Like if I didn't have Paisley, I don't really know where I would be. Lamar with the keeper. All right, we're in perfect position here for an Andrews touchdown. Hello, sports gods. I mean, it's not going to be a long one like I got with that first Andrews touchdown, but this would be the spot where we could double up like we did in the Buccaneer game. And they're probably going to be thinking it's going to go to Henry or Lamar or Zay. Who's the person like least likely to get it? Probably Andrews. Sports gods, you want to do me a solid to at least make the matchup interesting? I mean, Zini's already got 100 points, 4 players. That's more than I've scored in half of my games. I just want to be able to be competitive. And this is the first time I get to use McCaffrey and Cup, and I want it to be a joyous occasion. I want to be able to like look at my numbers and see McCaffrey with a fucking 30, Cup with a fucking 25 or 30, and feel good. I've been robbed all season of being able to live up to my potential, right? Time to be able to cash in. You hear me? 18.8 out of Andrews is phenomenal. But when you look across the board and you see 28, 44, 7, and 21, I need a little bit extra. He's projected for 155. Now I'm at 130. Yeah, and then today when we ended up going on a walk, there's this elderly couple that lives down for me that has like a really dope Airstream trailer, if you know anything about those. And they usually, have rescue dogs and dogs that they try to have at the end of their lives. And they try to, be able to, give that dog the best last year or two of their life, and they walk a lot. And they were walking with some other random dude with this black dog that was kind of small, medium sized today. And, obviously the dogs are sniffing each other, but that black dog snapped at Paisley and they kind of yipped at each other and snapped at each other like they were going to bite each other's noses. And I've never had Paisley do that. And that was more of the dog, doing it to Paisley first. And that was like her reaction. But that's why I don't really like associating with other dogs in the neighborhood, because I don't trust people. I don't know how your dog is going to act around my dog and whatnot. And Paisley's not going to be the aggressive one, but she'll definitely stand her ground if you fucking try to do something. So, but I definitely won't be approaching that fucking dog ever again. Don't fucking try to snap at my dog like that. Fucking RKO. Fuck out of here with that. Oh, baby, baby, baby. 2-minute warning. 2nd and goal. I need an Andrew second tutty. Incomplete. And of course that was to Zay. Was it? Or no, it was Bateman. Bateman, the intended. Yeah, the ladies are striking back for sure. Yeah, and I don't like the fact that I have to touchdown Bateman. Fuck! But at least it wasn't Zay, so I guess I can be happy about that. Because if it was Zay, then I mean, my life is. So there it is. I guess I would have loved if it was Andrews, but at least it wasn't Zay. So I don't get what I want, but at least it didn't absolutely obliterate me either. Extra point is up and good. Nice job by Lamar. Yeah, they could easily. I mean, hell, they got no answer for Jamar Chase, and they were trying to act like, oh, Jamar might not have a very good game like the pre-show. with Whitworth and all them and Sherman. Oh, well, T. Higgins isn't playing. And normally when T. Higgins doesn't play, Jamar isn't going to do anything. And his numbers are way lower. That might be true, but you don't play the worst pass defense every week. And it just so happens that today is that day. And Jamar and Burrow are fucking raking. I mean, what is Heaney going to get? 150 out of 4 players? Golly. Just my luck that would happen. Nice little jump pass there by Lamar. He knew it all the way. $101.6. That's just laughable. I've never seen that. At least not this year. But again, that's what happens when you play shit defense. 28, 44, 7, 21. And even though Zay is at a 7, I think you can live with that. Hell, if Jamar gets almost 50, who cares if Zay gets a fucking 7 or, an 8? That doesn't matter. You made up for it with all the other guys. Burrow made up for it. Jamar really made up for it. Hell, even Chase Brown made up for it. Oh, yeah. Or you could be smart like a girl in our league, Zini, who's won the championship, and have Jamar, Burrow, and Chase Brown. That's when you know you got someone that's intelligent that knows what they're doing. Yeah, I would have never played Tucker this year just because he's unreliable. It started to be a little unreliable last year and this year as well. But, coulda, woulda, shoulda, Gesicki, 35, 28. For a game that started off really slow and not really boring, but just a little slow, definitely really picked up the pace here. Incomplete to Gesicki. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help me out for my fucking sanity. 100 points out of 4 players. We need a couple more likes to be able to get to 20. Let's get there, baby. And normally that bet Chief cashes in 9 times out of 10. Burrow into the dirt to Jamar, incomplete. Third down and 10. Incomplete. Going into the game, Burrow was ranked 5th, Cook 10th, Jamar Chase 1st, right? Vikings D 1st, and she's got number 3 kicker. So she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 top 10 pieces. And she's got the number 1 tight end on top of that. Number 1 tight end, number 1 wide receiver, number 1 defense, and then obviously a quarterback that's climbing the rankings. Zini is a smart cookie, and again, I told her to take chances with rookies and whatnot. She's definitely listened and paid attention, but golly, number 1 receiver, number 1 tight end, and number 1 defense. My God, most teams don't even have a number 1 anything. She's got fucking 3. That's why you're fucking sitting at, top 3, right? When you got number 1, number 1, number 1. My God. Wish I had some goddamn number 1s. Previous play under review. Let's look at Sheps. He's got Barkley, number 3, Purdy, 10, Jay Jetta, 2, Kittle, 2, Siebert, 1, Niners, D7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 9 spots are in the top 10. And that's kind of the key. Let's take a look at Reflex. And obviously injuries have, definitely taken down some of the people. Hurt 6, Kyron 6, CD 4, Steelers D3 that you just picked up, Bass 8 you just picked up, and then obviously Kyler on the bench with 9, and then obviously Nico would have been much, much higher if he didn't get hurt, as well as Rashee Rice. So, I mean, at one point you had 3 of the top 5 receivers with Nico, Rashee Rice, and CeeDee Lamb. And that definitely will help you beat the shit out of a lot of people in the league, including me. 35-28 Ravens. (24-2). Both these quarterbacks are just incredible this year. He's got his hand underneath it, but you do see the football move, slightly once he hits the ground. He's got his hand in a great position, but once you see it, his chest hit, you do see the ball move slightly. And then you can't really see the camera angle after if it moves more on his stomach. Let's see what they call. Wow. Call stands. .399 yards. Christ almighty. Of course I had to go against Zini the week that he throws for fucking 400. And complete. Shotgun set. Burrow. Chase. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Face mask. Conveniently, they like to call that, huh? Either they call it or they don't call it. Where was the Bucky Irving one? Where was the Sam Darnold one? But they decided to do the Humphrey one here because they want what, overtime? Makes you wonder if the Bengals were ahead, if they would have called that or not. Burrow, floater. Jesus Christ. Jamar Chase about to get like 80 fucking points. Another flag on the play. God, couldn't I have played Zini any fucking week other than this week? Jesus. She scores more points out of 4 players than I do all year, out of like a whole team. But I guess it could be worse for me. I could have Mark Andrews with like a 2 right now or like a 0. So I guess, it could be worse for me. He could have not got in the end zone. He could have ended up getting like a donut or something. Yeah, this is one of the shitty. I mean, the Ravens have no chance of making the fucking Super Bowl or winning a Super Bowl with a shit defense like this. You might be able to score points, but you can't fucking defend with the shit. I mean, can I get a 50-point game? Fuck. Of course I have to have a big number like that against me. Of course. Shotgun set. Burrow. Incomplete. Lay down. All right, Paisley's in here now. I thought I heard a whimper by the door. Dad, I miss you. Shotgun set for Burrow. Man, flag after flag after flag. It's a flag party. It's like Jamar's going to have like the best day in his fucking career. Man, Hybrid, your defense stinks. Your offense is nice, but your defense stinks. Terrible. You're never going to be able to win a Super Bowl this way. Golly, bro. Lions are? Well, based on what I've seen tonight, you know, I'll take the Lions over the Ravens secondary. Embarrassing. 2nd and 5. Burrow. Good tackle, finally. Yeah, and they got guys like Branch that are flying around making those big plays. Oh, of course it's Jamar Chase. Golly. Unbelievable. Why does this have to happen to me? Really? 108. I'm down by 100. What the fuck? 55 points out of Jamar. Ridiculous. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Unbelievable. Thanks a lot, Hybrid, and your shit-ass defense. Jesus Christ. Of course it has to happen to me. Of course it does. Unbelievable. Any week but this week. Any week. Jesus Christ. Burrow, 34. Jamar Chase, 56, 55. Zay, 7. Chase Brown, 22. At least I got 18.8 out of Andrews, but hell, I'm down by 100. She's pacing for like fucking 200. My God. 171 is what she's projected for now. Thanks, sports gods. Jesus Christ. What did I do? Bengals going for 2. Why would you go for 2? Just kick the extra point. For real. This is laughable. 118 to 18. Yeah, there's no. I mean, again, they were mad that the Buccaneers didn't go for 2, but I probably wouldn't have been able to get it with Baker in that situation against the Chiefs and whatnot. But if it ends up going to overtime, then Burrow and Chase will probably get another touchdown, and maybe that'll be the game winner. Unless I can pray that Mark Andrews gets a big long touchdown, and then that way I still probably will lose, but at least that'll make me feel a little bit better if Andrews gets to like 25 or something like that. Even Paisley can't watch. Incomplete. So they went for it and now they lost. Wow. Just like that. Wow. Well, that's what happens when you go for 2 for all those people that wanted the Bucs to do it against the Chiefs. Same shit probably would have happened with us too. with no Mike Evans or no Godwin. And now, instead of getting more fantasy points and possibly winning the game, you live and die by those decisions. And if you're going to go to someone, you go to Jamar Chase, and that's it. You don't go to anyone else besides that. Yeah, but it's, but the thing is, it's hindsight is 50-50. If the Bengals would have converted on that with Chase, then it would have been like, oh my God, brilliant. It always goes both ways. But even if you do get the 2-point conversion, there's 38 seconds left. Now, we know Tucker hasn't really been very reliable in the last 2 years compared to his previous years, but that's enough time for Lamar to get, into field goal range or possibly score. So just because you kick the extra point doesn't mean the game is going to be yours in overtime. Like, you might not even get to overtime. The Ravens still got enough time to possibly win. Lenny D in the building. What's good? Yeah, man. When it doesn't go right, then everyone's like, why didn't you go for 2? And then, when it does, it's like, oh, you should have kicked the extra point. Like, it looks like he got a face mask as well that wasn't called. So Burrow got a face mask. Gesicki got knocked down. So what does that mean? Does that mean that the bookies and all the people that bet on the Ravens, so they didn't want the Bengals to have a chance to win? Is that what's going on? They pick and choose when they want to call these face masks and these penalties. They didn't call it for Bucky Irving. They didn't call it for Sam Darnold. And now we didn't get one for Burrow. So obviously they had the Ravens favored in this game, and that's the decision, huh? The refs decide to do it like that. Lemmy D, what's good? Yeah, but if they would have converted, it wouldn't have been stupid. That's why, like with the NFL, like I wasn't really into conspiracy theories or, all the refs cheating or like Vegas and the bookies. But now with all of the different sports betting apps and like very questionable no calls, and it's usually not calls, it's no calls that should have been penalties that end up leading to a victory. And we've been seeing that more and more and more in the last 2 years where, there's a blatant penalty and they just decide to look away. And then it ends up, the team that was favored by the Vegas line wins. In the Bucs game, right? In the Vikings game with Sam Darnold, and now with the Bengals and the Ravens. I mean, there's going to be a lot of conversation going for 2, but also, what happened in that particular play. And I would like to be able to believe that, the NFL and the refs are not rigging games, but with all the different betting apps and people, all that money that's on the line, it definitely makes you kind of question, the outcomes of the games and the refs. It's one thing to call penalties that aren't true, but when they look away when there's a blatant penalty and it costs a team a game, and it's happened 3 times in the last 4 weeks. Buccaneers, Bucky Irving, right? Sam Darnold, right? Very blatant. This one maybe wasn't as blatant, but there was 2 penalties on the same play. They could have called one or the other, one on Gesicki with the holding and the little touch on the face mask by Burrow, but too much money on the Ravens. They say we can't do that. It could have been at least offsetting and they could have did one more play or something, but I mean, I guess that's the way that it goes, huh? Final score, Ravens 35, Bengals 34. And, of course, I get absolutely obliterated in fantasy. But, hopefully my guys can put up big numbers like that. Now if Cooper Kupp or McCaffrey can put up a 20, 30, 40, something like that, then I'll still be in business. But she's projected for 170, and I'm down 118 to 18. Just imagine if Andrews had a 0. I would have jumped through my window. Golly. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Very entertaining game. Obviously started off slow, but ended off with a bang. Final score, Ravens 35, Bengals 34. So tomorrow, we're going to end up doing Iowa versus UCLA. That'll be tomorrow night for the stream. Then on Saturday, we'll do Oregon and Maryland. And I'll obviously watch a little bit of the Husky game. That's going to be later on as well. We'll double dip Oregon and the Huskies. We'll watch both of those games on the channel. And then on Sunday, we got the Lions and the Texans for Sunday Night Football. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the people that liked, subbed, donated, commented, shared. If you're in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And we'll be back tomorrow for some college football, obviously there with Iowa and UCLA. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score, Ravens 35, Bengals 34. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Okay.